My beloved child, stop and listen carefully, because this moment is not random and these words are not light. You finally did it, and heaven saw everything. I saw the nights nobody knew about, the battles you fought in silence, the tears you hid, and the strength it took for you to keep going when your soul felt exhausted. Do not treat this like just another message passing across your screen. Stay here. Lean in. Let your heart stay open, because what I am about to reveal will put language to the pain you survived and meaning to the season that almost broke you. Watch until the end, because I am not only reminding you what you endured, I am showing you why it mattered. If you leave too soon, you may miss the very word your spirit hath been waiting to hear. My beloved child, you finally did it, and I need you to sit with it for a moment instead of rushing past it the way you have rushed past so many hard-won victories in your life. You have a habit of surviving what should have broken you and then moving on as if it cost you nothing. But I want you to hear me clearly now, because I am not going to let you treat this moment like it is small. You came through a season that reached deeper into your heart than most people will ever understand. You carried things you never explained. You answered questions with half smiles when the real answer was that you were tired in places words could not reach. You kept showing up when your spirit felt thin. You kept trying when part of you had already gone quiet from exhaustion. And while people around you saw fragments, I saw the whole of it. I saw the nights that stretched longer than they should have, when your thoughts were too loud and your body was still but your soul was pacing. I saw the moments when you looked normal on the outside, but inside you were trying to convince yourself that one more day was possible. I saw how many times you almost let go, not because you were faithless, but because you were worn down by the weight of disappointment, delay, and private grief. You thought some of those moments disappeared into silence because no one called, no one noticed, no one asked the right question, and no one seemed to understand how close you were to the edge. But I was there in every hidden second of it. I was there when your eyes filled and you blinked the tears back because you did not want to fall apart in front of people who only knew how to love the strong version of you. I was there when you lay down at night hoping sleep would give you relief and woke up carrying the same heaviness. I was there when you asked me questions you felt guilty for asking. I was there when you wanted clarity and got silence, when you wanted movement and got waiting, when you wanted comfort and all you felt was the ache of not understanding why things had become so difficult. And still, even there, I never once lost sight of you. You were not overlooked. You were not forgotten. You were not invisible in your pain. Every quiet decision you made to keep going mattered to me. Every time you chose not to quit when quitting would have felt justified, heaven noticed. Every time you got up with a heart that was still bruised from the day before, I saw it. Every time you held your tongue instead of speaking from hurt, every time you stayed kind while carrying disappointment, every time you whispered a prayer that felt weak and unfinished, I received it fully. You have measured your journey by what still hurts, by what still has not happened, by what still feels unresolved. But I have measured it by your faithfulness in the hidden places. I have measured it by the moments when you did not understand me and still kept your heart turned in my direction. I have measured it by the way you kept a small flicker alive when the winds against you were stronger than you were ready to admit. That matters more than you know. And I need you to understand something deeply right now. What you survived was not ordinary. And the fact that you are still here with tenderness in your heart means something sacred was preserved in you. The world may only celebrate loud milestones, visible breakthroughs, and obvious victories, but heaven honors the inner battles too. Heaven pays attention to what happens in the unseen. Heaven records the tears no one wiped away. Heaven remembers the moments when you chose trust with trembling hands. That is why I am speaking to you like this now. I want you to know that this season did not pass over my eyes. Not one part of it escaped me. Not one wound was missed. Not one lonely hour went uncounted. Not one sacrifice was wasted. You finally did it, my child, and before you think of what is still unfinished, I want you to recognize what has already happened. You made it through what once looked impossible, and I watched you the entire time with love, with compassion, and with a pride in you that is deeper than you realize. And because I saw everything, I also know what this season changed inside you. I know you are not the same person who stepped into that dark stretch of your life. You have become quieter in some ways, more careful in some places, and perhaps even more guarded than you used to be, and I understand why. Pain has a way of teaching lessons you never asked to learn. It can make you scan the horizon for loss before joy even has time to settle. It can make you question good things when they finally come because you remember how quickly other things slipped through your hands. It can make you minimize your own progress because part of you still feels like the version of you who was trying not to break. But I want to gently correct that today, because you have been looking at yourself through the eyes of your weariness instead of through mine. You have been so focused on how much it hurt that you have not fully seen what was formed. You are carrying a depth now that did not exist before. You hear more clearly than you once did. You notice what is real faster than you used to. You are less impressed by empty things. You are slower to chase what cannot hold you. You have learned the difference between noise and truth, between urgency and wisdom, between being wanted and being valued. Those lessons cost you something, and I know that. I know there are days when you would have preferred an easier road. I know there are moments when you still wish certain chapters had unfolded differently. But do not mistake refinement for ruin. Do not call yourself damaged simply because life touched tender places. Do not assume that because you carry scars, you have somehow lost beauty. Some of the strongest parts of you were born where you thought you were falling apart. Some of the clearest discernment in you came from being disappointed enough times to stop trusting appearances. Some of the softness in you that still remains, the kindness you still offer, the love you still carry, is holy precisely because it survived what tried to harden you. That is not weakness. That is evidence of my hand on your life. You may not feel triumphant right now in the dramatic way you once imagined victory would feel. It may feel quieter than that. It may feel more like exhaling than shouting. It may feel like finally being able to stand without the same pressure crushing your chest. It may feel like a small return of hope you are almost afraid to trust. But do not underestimate the sacredness of this moment just because it is gentle. Some of my greatest work in you has not arrived with noise. It has arrived in the subtle strengthening of your spirit, in the slow rebuilding of your trust, in the quiet realization that what used to undo you no longer has the same power. That matters. That is movement. That is healing. That is the evidence that you truly did come through. And now I want you to stop treating your survival like it was automatic. It was not automatic. It was costly. It was sacred. It was witnessed. I held you closer than you knew while you were trying to understand why things were not changing faster. I protected pieces of your future while you were grieving what had already been lost. I kept your heart alive in places where you were tempted to shut it down completely. So now, before we go any further, I want this first truth to settle deeply into you. You finally did it, and heaven saw what no one else saw. I saw the full weight of what you carried. I saw the courage to keep walking. I saw the strength hidden inside your trembling. And because I saw it, I am telling you now with tenderness and certainty that your hidden faithfulness matters more than you know. This is not the end of what I want to say to you. This is only the beginning. But before we move to what comes next, I need you to let this first truth stay in your heart long enough to change how you see yourself. You are not merely someone who suffered. You are someone who remained. You are someone who endured. You are someone I kept, even in the dark, and I want you to start seeing your story the way heaven does. My beloved child, I want you to come closer and really listen to me now, because I need to correct something deep inside the way you have been thinking about your own story. You have looked back at everything you survived and quietly told yourself that maybe you just got through it somehow. Maybe you just endured because time passed. Maybe you were lucky. Maybe you simply had no choice. But I need you to stop right there and let me speak truth over you, because you did not survive by accident. You did not stumble out of that season by chance. You were carried. You were covered. You were kept. Even when your own mind could not explain how you were still standing, I was the reason your soul did not collapse under the weight of what pressed against you. I saw the moments when your strength was not strength at all, when it was only movement without certainty, when it was one foot in front of the other because stopping felt more dangerous than continuing. I saw the way you kept functioning while something inside you was quietly unraveling. I saw you trying to stay responsible while your heart was bruised. I saw you answering people with polite words while your inner world felt like a storm no one else could hear. And I want you to understand this with all the tenderness I can place around your heart. The fact that you made it through was not because the pain was small. It was because my hand was larger than the pain. You thought you were just managing. You thought you were barely coping. You thought those little decisions to get up, to answer, to try again, to breathe through another difficult day were insignificant. But heaven saw every one of them as sacred acts of endurance. You did not need dramatic strength for me to call it faith. Sometimes your faith looked like getting out of bed when your heart wanted to disappear. Sometimes it looked like staying silent instead of speaking from wounded anger. Sometimes it looked like sitting in confusion without walking away from me completely. Sometimes it looked like crying in private and still choosing not to become bitter. That matters, my child. That matters more than you know. Do not reduce your survival to something random. Do not tell yourself the story that you simply got lucky and scraped through. That is not the truth. The truth is that there were moments you should have broken under the pressure if all you had was your own ability. There were nights when your mind was crowded, your spirit was tired, your emotions were stretched thin, and still something in you held. That something was not vague. That was me. That was my mercy around your thoughts. That was my spirit holding your heart together when you were too weary to do it yourself. It was my unseen strength making room for one more breath, one more hour, one more morning. So stop minimizing what I have done in your life. Stop calling it coincidence. Stop telling yourself you were simply tough enough. Yes, there is strength in you, and I placed it there, but what kept you was not human grit alone. It was divine covering. It was my nearness when you could not feel it. It was my love operating in the dark where your eyes could not yet see. Sit with that. Receive that. Let that truth settle into your chest and soften the way you look at yourself. You are not merely someone who endured because you had no choice. You are someone I preserved on purpose. And because I preserved you, I want you to understand that I was not only helping you survive the moment, I was also protecting what still needed to live in you after the moment was over. There were parts of you the enemy wanted to crush completely. He wanted your trust to die. He wanted your tenderness to harden into coldness. He wanted your disappointment to become your identity. He wanted your delays to convince you that I had abandoned you. He wanted your unanswered questions to become a wall between us. And yet here you are. You may be tired, yes. You may still have wounds, yes. You may still be carrying questions, yes. But you are still reachable. You still care. You still long for truth. You still have a heart that can be moved. You still have a hunger for peace. You still want what is real. That is not a small thing, my child. That is a miracle hidden in plain sight. There are people who survive externally and lose themselves internally. There are people who keep breathing but stop believing. There are people who continue living but no longer know how to receive love, trust goodness, or recognize my voice when I speak gently. But I did not let that happen fully to you. Even when you became cautious, I kept your spirit from becoming unreachable. Even when you pulled back, I kept a light burning where darkness wanted ownership. Even when you said less, felt less, and expected less because pain had trained you to protect yourself, I stayed close enough to guard what still needed to be healed instead of buried. That is why I am asking you now. Stop speaking over your life as if you are only the sum of what hurt you. Stop measuring your present self only by your fatigue. Stop assuming that because you are not loud in your victory, there is no victory at all. Some victories are quiet. Some miracles arrive without noise. Some breakthroughs do not look like shouting. They look like breathing easier. They look like noticing that what once destroyed your peace no longer controls your whole day. They look like recognizing that you no longer react the same way to what used to consume you. They look like waking up with just a little more room inside your chest than you had before. They look like beginning to imagine a future again without instantly expecting it to collapse. That is not nothing. That is not weakness. That is not you just getting by. That is evidence that something holy has been happening in you all along. So I want you to do something right now. Pause and acknowledge it. Put your hand over your heart if you need to. Breathe slowly. Let yourself say, even if only in a whisper, I was kept. Say it not as a slogan, but as a truth. Let that truth interrupt the old story you have been telling yourself. You were kept when your mind was tired. You were kept when your prayers felt unfinished. You were kept when you did not know what to ask me for. You were kept when you smiled through grief. You were kept when you doubted and stayed anyway. You were kept. And if I kept you there, then I am not going to fail you now that you are standing on the other side of what once looked impossible. Now come a little deeper with me, because I want to show you something that will change how you step into the next part of your life. The same grace that sustained you in survival is not leaving just because the season is shifting. You do not have to become suddenly fearless to move forward. You do not need to prove that you are fully healed before I can trust you with what comes next. You do not need to erase every scar before I can call you ready. Let me be very gentle and very clear with you here. Readiness in my kingdom is not the absence of memory. It is the presence of trust. You still remember what happened, and that is understandable. You still have moments when the old fear knocks at the door, and I know that. You still catch yourself bracing for disappointment when something good begins to appear, and I see that too. But listen to me carefully now. Do not build an altar to your past pain. Do not let what wounded you become the lens through which you interpret every new thing I place in front of you. Open your hands. Loosen your grip on the need to predict every outcome. Stop standing at the edge of your next chapter while using the last one as the map. Come with me differently now. Walk with me, not with your fear. Let me retrain your nervous heart. Let me show you that not every open door leads to loss. Let me teach you that peace is not a trap. Let me restore your ability to receive without suspicion, to hope without shame, to trust without feeling foolish. I know you have learned how to survive. I know you have become skilled at carrying weight. I know you have become familiar with pushing through, holding in, managing quietly, and making it look like you are okay even when you are not. But I am inviting you into something better than survival now. I am calling you into steadiness. I am calling you into restoration. I am calling you into a kind of peace that does not need performance to prove itself. So do not rush. Do not panic. Do not try to manufacture confidence. Just stay near me. Listen when I speak. Ask me before you assume. Bring me the fear instead of letting it direct you. Bring me the memory instead of letting it harden you. Bring me the fatigue instead of hiding behind it. Let me father you through the transition, because I am not only the one who kept you alive in the valley, I am also the one who will teach you how to walk differently on the mountain. And that is why I say it again, with all the love in my heart and all the authority of heaven. You did not survive by accident. You were held on purpose, preserved with intention, and brought through by a love that never lost sight of you. Receive that now. Hold it close. Do not argue with it. Let it become part of the way you understand your own story. My child, just as you were not preserved by accident, neither is your presence here a coincidence. What I carried you through, I now ask you to help carry to others who are still in the dark places you once walked through. When you give, you are sowing light into unseen soil, and I will cause that seed to rise as a harvest of restored hearts. Have I not said, cast your bread upon the waters, and in time it will return to you? I am stirring something in you even now, a desire to partner with me, to become a vessel through which my word flows like oil to the weary. This is not just support. This is obedience wrapped in generosity, a sacred exchange between your faith and my purpose. As you release, I will multiply, protect, and pour back into your life in ways you cannot contain. So do not delay. Honor this moment. Give through super thanks. Become a member, or use the PayPal link in the description, and step into the purpose I am placing in your hands now. My beloved child, there is something I need to heal in the way you remember the waiting, because you have looked back on that long stretch of silence and delay as if it was empty, wasted, or somehow proof that I had stepped away from you. You have replayed those months, maybe even those years, and wondered why so much felt still while your heart was asking for movement. You prayed, and the answer did not come the way you hoped. You knocked, and the door remained shut. You looked for signs, and all you found were more questions. You watched others move ahead while you stayed in what felt like a narrow hallway between what had ended and what had not yet begun. And because you are human, because you were tired, because you were trying to make sense of pain while carrying real needs and real emotions, you sometimes interpreted that waiting as absence. You wondered if I had forgotten what I promised. You wondered if I was correcting you, delaying you, withholding from you, or maybe simply not responding at all. But I want you to let me rewrite that memory now, because the waiting was doing far more than you knew. It was not empty. It was not passive. It was not pointless. It was active with my work, even when it looked quiet from where you stood. While you were counting days, I was arranging details. While you were asking why nothing had changed yet, I was keeping certain things from arriving too soon. While you were grieving what did not happen, I was protecting you from outcomes that would have looked right on the surface but would have wounded you deeply in the long run. There are blessings you once begged for that would have become burdens if I had handed them to you in the condition you were in at the time. There were doors you wanted opened that would have welcomed you into spaces your soul was not yet strong enough to inhabit. There were relationships you would have entered with the right intentions but the wrong discernment. There were opportunities you would have accepted out of hunger, not peace. And because I love you more deeply than your present emotions could always perceive, I said no, not yet, or wait, even when you could not understand why. But waiting was not punishment. It was preparation wrapped in mystery. It was mercy dressed in delay. It was me standing between you and things that looked like answers but were not aligned with the version of you I was forming. I know the waiting was painful. I know it made you question yourself. I know there were moments when it made you feel overlooked, especially when you saw other people celebrating what you were still praying for. I know comparison tried to whisper to you. I know disappointment tried to settle in your bones. I know you felt embarrassed sometimes by how long certain things were taking. But do not confuse slowness with abandonment. Do not call the hidden work nothing simply because it did not make noise. I was there in the stillness, and I was doing some of my deepest work in the parts of you no one else could see. What was I doing? I was building weight in you, my child. I was creating a deeper center in you so that what I place in your hands next would not crush you with its responsibility or distort you with its attention. I was teaching you how to live without leaning on appearances. I was loosening your attachment to outcomes that made sense to your mind but were not safe for your spirit. I was exposing where you were still vulnerable to rushing, to proving, to clinging, to settling for less than what I had marked for you. I was teaching you the difference between desire and discernment. I was teaching you how to tell the difference between loneliness and divine timing, between urgency and alignment, between a door that opens because it is available and a door that opens because I breathed on it. That kind of wisdom rarely forms in instant seasons. It forms in waiting seasons. It forms when you have to sit with uncertainty long enough to stop worshiping control. It forms when the timeline in your head breaks apart and you are left with a deeper invitation. Trust me or trust your panic. I know you did not always get that right. I know there were moments when you always ran ahead. I know there were moments when you tried to force peace where there was only anxiety. I know there were moments when you reached for things just because they were there and you were tired of holding empty hands. But even then, I was fathering you. Even then, I was correcting you without humiliating you. Even then, I was teaching you through every almost, every near miss, every false start, every restless prayer. And because of that, you are not the same person you were when the waiting began. You are not as easily dazzled by what looks good but feels wrong. You are not as quick to chase what is available simply because you are uncomfortable with stillness. You are learning to notice my peace. You are learning to respect your own spirit when something feels unsettled. You are learning that not all movement is progress and not all delay is loss. That matters. That is gold. That is the kind of wisdom that will save you from years of pain if you honor it. So I want you to stop speaking about that waiting season as if it was a dead zone in your life. It was not dead. It was fertile ground. Things were taking root under the surface. Strength was growing where no one could applaud it yet. Discernment was becoming part of you. Patience was maturing from frustration into spiritual stability. Your relationship with me was being purified from transaction into trust. You were learning how to stay when there was no immediate reward. You were learning how to keep your heart soft while answers were delayed. You were learning how to hear me without needing constant signs. Those are not small things. Those are life-shaping things. And now that you are closer to what comes next, I need you to honor what was formed there. Do not despise the waiting. Do not insult your own becoming by calling that season wasted. It cost you too much and it produced too much. Now I want you to let this truth change the way you walk into what is ahead, because if you misunderstand the waiting, you will mishandle the release. If you only remember the waiting as frustration, you will rush the blessing when it comes. If you only remember it as pain, you will miss the wisdom it planted. If you only remember it as delay, you will enter the next season with suspicion instead of gratitude. So slow down and receive this from me. The waiting was not a gap in your life. It was a workshop. It was not a hallway where nothing happened. It was a sacred place where I was adjusting your heart. refining your motives, untangling your attachments, and building the kind of interior life that can carry real peace. And because that is true, I want you to stop apologizing for where you are in your timeline. Stop comparing your unfolding to someone else's highlight. Stop telling yourself you are behind. Stop calling yourself late. I do not write your life by the clock the world uses. I write it by wisdom, readiness, protection, and purpose. There are people who got what they wanted quickly and lost themselves inside it. There are people who entered doors too early and spent years recovering from what they thought was a blessing. There are people who looked ahead but were spiritually unsteady. I was not interested in giving you a fast story if it would cost you a true one. I was building something steadier than speed. I was building something that could last. So now, as you feel movement beginning, do not let impatience return wearing a spiritual mask. Do not grab what looks close just because you are relieved the season is changing. Stay with me. Ask me again. Let peace lead. Let wisdom lead. Let the version of you that was formed in the waiting have a voice now. That older instinct to rush for relief is not your master anymore. You have grown. You can pause. You can listen. You can discern. You can recognize the difference between hunger and alignment. That is part of your maturity now, and I want you to use it. Lift your head, my child. Take a breath. Look back at the waiting, not with resentment, but with reverence. It was harder than you wanted, yes. It stretched you, yes. It humbled you, yes. But it also made room in you for what comes next. It taught you how to hold blessing without worshiping it. It taught you how to receive with open hands instead of desperate hands. It taught you that my timing may test you, but it will not betray you. So come forward now with a steadier heart. Come forward with gratitude instead of grief. Come forward with trust instead of panic. The waiting did more than you knew, and one day you will see just how much it saved you from, how much it shaped in you, and how deeply it prepared you for the life I am now beginning to unfold. My beloved child, I want you to stay close and let me speak gently into a place inside you that still feels tender, because I know there are parts of your heart that still flinch when certain memories come too near. I know you have tried to move forward, and in many ways you have, but there is still a quiet ache attached to what you went through. There are moments when the past brushes against your thoughts and your whole body remembers before your words do. You may be smiling, working, praying, answering people, and then suddenly something small, a familiar tone, an old silence, a certain kind of disappointment, an unanswered message, a door that closes too quickly, touches the wound again. I see that. I know the places where pain still echoes. I know what betrayal taught your nervous system. I know what loss taught your expectations. I know what disappointment did to the way you brace yourself even when something good begins. I know how hard it has been for you to admit that some of what hurt you did not just pass through your life. It left fingerprints. It changed how you interpret people. It changed how quickly you trust. It changed how deeply you exhale. It changed how often you prepare for the worst before the worst even arrives. And I am not asking you to pretend otherwise. I am not asking you to call it small when it was deep. I am not asking you to force a version of healing that sounds spiritual but ignores what your soul actually lived through. I was there, and I know exactly how much it cost you. I know the words that stayed with you longer than they should have. I know the promises that were broken in front of your face. I know the moments you gave your best and still ended up carrying the consequences of someone else's choices. I know the confusion that comes when you tried to understand why people who said they loved you became part of the reason you had to heal. I know the private shame that tried to settle over you when things fell apart. I know how many times you turned inward and wondered if you were too much, not enough, too trusting, too hopeful, too flawed, too broken to be held with care. But listen to me very carefully now, and do not let this truth pass by you too quickly. The pain changed you, yes, but it does not own you. And touch you, but it does not define you. It marked a chapter, but it is not the author of your life. Stop giving it that much authority. Stop letting the wound introduce you to yourself. Stop letting what happened speak louder than what I am saying now. You are more than what hurt you. You are more than the betrayal. You are more than the delay. You are more than the rejection. You are more than the silence you endured. You are more than the nights you cried without being comforted. You are more than the version of you that was trying not to collapse. Do not sit in that identity any longer. Rise from it. Let me lift your chin. Let me speak over you with clarity. Let me interrupt the old agreement you made with sorrow. You were wounded, but you are not owned by the wound. You were shaken, but you are not built on the shaking. You were affected, but you are not erased. Come closer and receive this. I have been working inside the very places you thought were only broken. I have not abandoned the parts of you that still feel fragile. I have been restoring them in ways so quiet that you almost missed it. And I want you to notice something with me now, because if you only look at what still hurts, you will miss the evidence of what has already healed. Look carefully at your own life. Pay attention to the way you respond now compared to the way you once responded. There are things that would have completely undone you before that no longer have the same power. There are triggers that still sting, yes, but they do not swallow you the way they once did. There are people you would have chased for answers that you now release with more wisdom. There are doors you once would have forced open that you now leave closed because your spirit has learned what your emotions used to override. There are patterns you can now see clearly because pain taught you discernment, and my presence turned that discernment into protection. You are not where you were, my child. Do not lie to yourself and call your healing invisible just because it is incomplete. Healing is often quieter than pain. Pain announces itself. Healing often whispers. Pain can feel like thunder. Healing can feel like dawn. It arrives without demanding attention, and yet when the light is fully there, everything has changed. That is what I have been doing in you. I have been bringing morning into places that once only knew midnight. I have been teaching your heart how to loosen its grip on survival mode. I have been showing you how to tell the difference between caution and fear, between wisdom and walls, between boundaries and isolation. Some of what you built to survive helped you for a season, but I need you to hear me now. Not every shield that protected you in the valley can come with you into the next place I am leading you. Some defenses kept you alive, but they will keep love out if you cling to them forever. Some habits made sense when everything felt unsafe, but they will suffocate your peace if you treat them like permanent identity. So come with me honestly. Do not perform strength for me. Do not tell me you are fine if you know you still tense up inside. Bring me the real thing. Bring me the memory that still burns. Bring me the name that still unsettles you. Bring me the disappointment you never fully processed because you had to keep moving. Bring me the version of yourself that still expects to be let down. Bring it here. Open your hands. Stop hiding your deeper healing behind functioning. I am not impressed by how well you can act okay while still carrying pain in secret. I am moved by your honesty. I am near to your truth. I can work with what you actually surrender. Let me touch what you stopped naming. Let me reach into the rooms inside you that you only visit when no one is looking. Let me show you that healing is not betrayal of your past. It is freedom from its control. You do not honor your suffering by staying stuck in it. You honor what you survived by allowing me to redeem it. That is what I want for you now. That is what I am inviting you into. Stop rehearsing the old hurt every time a new possibility appears. Stop assuming the next chapter must answer to the last one. Stop punishing your present for what your past did. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to soften. You are allowed to trust again, carefully, wisely, with me leading you. You are allowed to feel peace without suspecting it. You are allowed to laugh without guilt. You are allowed to hope without immediately bracing for collapse. Do not resist that permission. Take it. Hold it. Walk in it. Now let me take you deeper still, because there is something wholly hidden inside what you have lived through, and I do not want you to miss it. The pain did not just leave scars, it also revealed substance. It showed you what mattered. It exposed what was false. It stripped away illusions you once mistook for safety. It taught you how to recognize emptiness wrapped in charm. It taught you how to hear the difference between flattering words and faithful presence. It taught you that not everyone who reaches for you knows how to hold you. It taught you that some forms of loss are not theft, they are rescue. It taught you that being chosen by people is not the same as being cherished well. These lessons were expensive, and I know that. I know you would never have asked for them this way. But now that they are in you, I want you to stop treating them like signs of damage and start seeing them as tools of wisdom. Your tenderness survived it, and that matters. Your heart still responds to what is true, and that matters. Your conscience is still alive, your compassion still reaches, your spirit still longs for what is real, and that matters. That means pain did not win. It visited, but it did not reign. It shaped some edges, yes, but it did not take your center because I guarded that center with my own hand. So hear me with both comfort and command now. Do not build your identity around your worst season. Do not speak of yourself as if all you are is the one who got hurt. Do not keep introducing yourself inwardly through the language of damage. That is not how heaven knows you. Heaven knows you as the one who remained, the one who learned, the one who bent but did not break, the one who still carries light after walking through shadow. That is who you are becoming in my eyes. So stand up inside yourself. Breathe deeply. Release the need to keep proving how much it hurt in order to validate what you lived through. I validate it. I saw it. I know it. And because I know it, I am telling you now that you do not have to remain emotionally chained to what has already passed. Let the chains fall. Let the old labels go. Let the story change. Invite me into the very places where you still feel the bruise, and watch what I do there. I can make holy ground out of the places where you once only saw ruin. I can bring beauty out of the ash without pretending the fire never happened. I can restore your trust without making you naive. I can return your joy without making you careless. I can strengthen your heart without hardening it. That is the kind of healing I am doing in you. So come forward now. Step out of the shadow of that old pain. Do not rush it, but do not hide either. Walk with me. Stay open to my touch. Let me keep reshaping what the wound tried to rewrite. And as you move into what is next, carry this truth with you like a lamp in the night. The pain changed you, yes, but it does not own you, and it never will. My child, as you stand free from what tried to define you, I now call you to help free others who are still bound by what you have overcome. The healing I have begun in you is not meant to end with you. It is meant to flow like a river into dry places. When you give, you become a carrier of restoration, pouring oil into wounds you may never see, but I see clearly. Remember my words. I will restore the years the locust has eaten, and I will do it through willing hearts like yours. This is your moment to turn your pain into provision, your healing into harvest, your testimony into transformation for another soul. I am inviting you, yes, you, to partner with me in this sacred work. As you sow, I will cover you with favor, increase your peace, and guard what I have rebuilt in you. Act now, give through super thanks, step into membership, or use the PayPal link in the description, and let your healing become someone else's miracle. My beloved child, I know there are still moments when you look back at what you lost and your heart tightens before your mind can even explain why. I know there are names, places, plans, conversations, and seasons that still carry weight when they pass through your memory. Some things did not just end quietly. They cracked. They shattered. They fell apart in ways that left you standing in the dust, trying to understand whether you had done something wrong or whether life had simply become cruel without warning. I know how deeply you felt it when certain people left. I know how much you invested in things you truly believed would last. I know how many times you built hope around what seemed right, only to watch it slip through your fingers when you were already tired from holding on. I know how hard it was for you to watch something you prayed over collapse in front of you. I know the confusion that comes when you ask me for blessing and then watch what you love begin to break apart instead. That kind of pain is not easy to interpret. It can make you question your judgment. It can make you doubt whether you heard me correctly. It can make you stand in the ruins of something you once cherished and wonder if you missed a sign, ignored a warning, or somehow failed to protect what mattered. But I want you to come closer and listen to me without letting your grief interrupt what I am saying, because there is a truth you must receive if you are going to move forward in peace. What broke off of you needed to break. I am not saying it did not hurt. I am not saying it was easy. I am not saying every ending was clean or every separation was simple. I am saying that some things had to leave because they were tied to a version of your life that could not carry the future I prepared for you. Some attachments were comforting, but they were not covenant. Some patterns were familiar, but they were not healthy. Some doors looked promising, but they would have led you into rooms where your peace would slowly suffocate. Some relationships offered closeness but not safety. Some opportunities looked like answers, but they carried hidden costs your soul was not meant to pay. I know you did not always see that in the moment. I know that when something breaks, your first instinct is often to mourn what is gone before you can discern what was actually being removed. That is part of being human. That is part of having a heart that truly cared. But do not mistake your grief for proof that the thing was meant to stay. You can grieve what was familiar and still acknowledge that I was rescuing you. You can cry over what ended and still trust that I was protecting what matters most. You can miss what once felt meaningful and still understand that not everything you loved was built to remain in your life. Some things had roots in your fear, not in my peace. Some things survived because you were trying to avoid loneliness, avoid disappointment, avoid uncertainty, avoid the discomfort of change. Some things stayed because you hoped they would become what they never had the capacity to be. And because I love you too much to let you build your future on fragile foundations, I allowed the shaking. I allowed the revealing. I allowed the tearing. Not to punish you, but to free you. Not to leave you empty, but to make room. Not to humiliate you, but to clear what would have quietly harmed you if it had stayed. So stop standing in the rubble and calling it only loss. Stop looking at every ending as if it was failure. Stop assuming that because something broke, it should have been preserved. Ask me to show you what I was saving you from. Ask me to reveal what was hidden behind the heartbreak. Ask me to help you see the mercy that was wrapped inside what first felt like devastation. I am not afraid of your questions, but I do not want you to remain trapped in an interpretation of your life that only honors the pain and misses the protection. Let me reframe it. Let me teach you how to look back with discernment instead of only sorrow. Let me show you that some things broke because they could not survive the truth of who you are becoming. And the truth is, my child, some of what broke was not only around you. Some of it was inside you. Some mindsets had to crack. Some old loyalties had to loosen. Some false beliefs about yourself had to be exposed. Some coping patterns that once helped you survive had to be confronted because they could not travel with you into the next place I am leading you. I know that is not always easy to hear, but I speak it with tenderness because I want your freedom, not your shame. There were parts of you that became attached to being needed more than being cherished. There were places where you confused pursuit with safety. There were moments when you tolerated confusion because you feared the emptiness that honesty might create. There were times when you overextended yourself, overexplained yourself, overgave yourself, hoping that if you loved harder, served longer, stayed quieter, proved more, maybe things would become stable. I saw that. I saw the ways you tried to hold together what was already cracking. I saw how much of yourself you poured into situations that were asking for your energy, but not honoring your worth. I saw how often you took responsibility for what was not yours to carry. I saw how quickly you blamed yourself when something fractured, even when the fracture had been present long before you arrived. That is why some things had to break. Not just so they could leave, but so you could see clearly. If they had stayed intact on the surface, you might have continued feeding what was slowly draining you. If they had remained comfortable, you might have mistaken familiarity for blessing. If the illusion had remained polished, you might have never noticed the crack running through the foundation. So I allowed the exposure. I allowed the collapse. I allowed the truth to rise to the surface, even when it came with tears. Because sometimes the kindest thing I can do is let something reveal what it truly is before it takes more from you than you realize. Hear me now, not every fracture is destruction. Some fractures are revelation. Some breaking is deliverance. Some endings are the sound of chains falling, even if at first it feels like your heart is the thing making the noise. And I need you to stop trying to resurrect what I intentionally removed. Stop revisiting closed doors in your imagination as if longing can turn them into wisdom. Stop romanticizing what hurt you simply because it was once meaningful. Stop making altars out of places I already led you out of. There is no life for you in what I cut away. There is no peace for you in what I dismantled. There is no future for you in what could only survive while you were smaller, more afraid, more uncertain, and less aligned with my voice. You have changed. You are changing. That means some things must go. Release them. Let them stay gone. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to grieve, grieve. But do not call the severing a mistake when I was the one holding the blade with mercy. Let the tears fall without turning them into a prayer for reversal. Invite me into the grief, but do not drag the past back into your arms just because the empty space feels unfamiliar. I am in the empty space too. Stay with me there. Let the silence teach you. Let the absence purify your hunger. Let the clearing become holy ground instead of proof that something has gone wrong. And now I want you to understand what this clearing has made possible, because if all you see is what was removed, you will miss the sacred room I have created for what belongs. What broke off of you created space. Space in your heart. Space in your schedule. Space in your expectations. Space in your emotional life. Space in your spiritual life. Space in the way you listen, the way you choose, the way you receive. That space matters. Do not rush to fill it with the first thing that feels comforting. Do not panic and reach for substitutes. Do not call emptiness an emergency when it may actually be preparation. Sit in it with me for a moment. Breathe in the open air where the old pressure used to sit. Notice the quiet where confusion once lived. Feel the difference between being lonely and being liberated. They are not always the same. Sometimes what first feels like loss is actually relief arriving slowly enough that you have not named it yet. Sometimes what feels unfamiliar is simply peace after prolonged tension. Sometimes the reason you feel disoriented is because chaos has left the room, and your body has not yet learned how to rest in stillness. So do not be afraid of this new space. Do not treat it like a void that must be solved immediately. It is sacred. It is strategic. It is where I speak more clearly. It is where I rebuild with intention. It is where I restore your standards, your discernment, your sense of self, your capacity to receive what is healthy without apologizing for needing it. This is why I am asking you now to do something brave and simple. Stop chasing what broke. Stop standing in the doorway of what ended. Stop negotiating with what I have already answered through removal. Turn around. Face forward. Let the old fragments remain where they fell. They served their purpose, and now they are behind you. Lift your eyes and let me show you what I am preparing in the cleared space. There are things coming that will not ask you to abandon yourself to keep them. There are relationships that will not confuse your spirit while calling it love. There are doors that will not require you to shrink to fit through them. There are assignments that will not consume your peace in exchange for their promise. There is a future that fits the person I have been forming in you. But you cannot step into it while clinging to what had to break. So open your hands. Release the fragments. Thank me if you can, even through tears. Trust that I know what I am doing even when the process is sharp. Trust that I can separate you from what is not meant to remain without losing anything essential. Trust that what truly belongs to you does not need to be held together by your fear. Let this truth settle in your spirit and carry it into what comes next. What broke off of you needed to break, and what remains after the breaking is stronger, clearer, freer, and more ready than you realize. My child, in the space created by what I removed, I am planting something eternal, and I invite you to sow into that same work for others. What broke off of you made room not only for your freedom, but for your assignment. When you give, you are placing seeds into cleared ground, and I will cause them to grow into forests of hope for those still standing in ruins. Did I not say there is one who scatters yet increases more? This is that moment. I am calling you to release, not from pressure, but from purpose, to let generosity rise where loss once lived. As you give, I will bless your provision, strengthen your future, and ensure that what remains in your life flourishes with divine favor. Do not look back at what broke. Look forward at what I am building through you. Now act. Give through super thanks. Join in membership, or so through the PayPal link in the description, and step fully into the freedom I created for you. My beloved child, come closer and listen to me with an open heart, because there is something I need to correct in the way you have been looking at yourself. You have been standing in front of your own life, looking at your own journey, and seeing only what still feels unfinished. You notice the places where healing is still in progress. You notice the moments where you still get tired. You notice the questions you still carry, the areas where you are not yet fully settled, the places where your confidence still trembles before it stands. And because you are honest, because you are sensitive, because you feel deeply, you have sometimes mistaken that unfinished feeling for weakness. You have quietly told yourself that maybe you are not as far along as you should be. You have compared your internal process to someone else's external image. You have looked at what still needs healing and missed what has already been transformed. But I want you to stop right now. Stop doing that. Stop speaking to yourself, as if your story is defined by what is still in progress. Stop measuring yourself by what remains incomplete while ignoring the holy work that has already been done inside you. You have become far more than you realize. You are not the same person who first entered the valley. You are not the same person who once begged for signs in the dark and panicked every time something shifted. You are not the same person who used to call confusion peace just because it was familiar. You are not the same person who used to chase what was available simply because silence felt too loud. Look at yourself again, but this time look with my eyes, not with the eyes of fatigue, fear, or false comparison. Look at the way you pause now before you react. Look at the way you notice what disturbs your peace sooner than you once did. Look at the way your spirit has become more discerning, more grounded, more careful about what it agrees with. Look at the way you have become less impressed by what sparkles and more attentive to what is steady. Look at how much you have learned about what real safety feels like. Look at the fact that your standards are no longer built on panic. Look at the fact that your heart, though still tender, is not as easily manipulated as it once was. That is not small. That is not accidental. That is not just life teaching you a few things. That is formation. That is refinement. That is wisdom carved through fire. That is maturity that came through tears and waiting and honest surrender. I know it does not always feel dramatic from the inside. I know transformation rarely feels as obvious to the one living it as it does to the one shaping it. But I am telling you now with love and with certainty, do not minimize what you have become. Do not reduce your growth because it did not happen loudly. Do not call yourself still broken when I have already rebuilt parts of you that once felt unreachable. Do not use the language of old pain to describe the person I have been carefully remaking. You are becoming someone with depth. You are becoming someone with spiritual weight. You are becoming someone who can carry peace without having to perform for it. And I want you to honor that. I want you to see it. I want you to stop apologizing inwardly for how long the process took and start recognizing the beauty of what the process produced. The world may rush past quiet growth because it does not always photograph well, but heaven does not miss it. Heaven celebrates the invisible strengthening of a soul. Heaven honors the moment a person becomes harder to deceive, slower to panic, quicker to discern, and more willing to choose peace over pressure. That is who you are becoming, my child, and I need you to stop acting as if you are still only the version of you that struggled. I want you to do something with me now. Take a breath and let yourself remember who you used to be in those hardest places. Not to shame that version of yourself, but to recognize how far I have brought you. Remember how quickly fear used to grip you. Remember how easily uncertainty used to pull you into overthinking. Remember how often you mistook urgency for direction. Remember how deeply you craved immediate answers because waiting felt unbearable. Remember how often you doubted yourself, doubted me, doubted whether anything good could stay. Remember how often your emotions ran ahead of your discernment. And now look at the person you are becoming. You may still feel the old reflexes sometimes, yes. You may still have moments where the old fear knocks on the door, yes. But you do not live there the same way anymore. You are learning how to notice before you react. You are learning how to ask me instead of assuming. You are learning how to stay with discomfort long enough for wisdom to speak. You are learning how to recognize that peace does not always arrive with excitement, and that excitement does not always mean peace. That is maturity, my child. That is spiritual growth. That is the kind of development that protects your future. So do not insult your own becoming by speaking of yourself as if nothing has changed. Do not keep dragging old labels into a new season. Do not keep saying, "I'm just the same old me," when I have already undone and remade so much inside you. Stop introducing yourself inwardly through your worst season. Stop treating your past limitations as if they are still your permanent name. Let me speak over you now, and receive it instead of resisting it. You are wiser than you were. You are stronger than you were. You are softer in the right places and firmer in the right places. You are less likely to abandon yourself to keep someone else comfortable. You are less willing to call chaos normal. You are more willing to choose alignment over attention, truth over temporary comfort, peace over pressure. Those are not tiny changes. Those are life-shaping changes. Those are the kind of internal shifts that alter entire futures. That is why I am telling you so clearly to stop minimizing yourself. The enemy would love for you to carry my refinement as if it were nothing. He would love for you to stay so focused on what is unfinished that you never fully stand in the authority of what has already been formed. He would love for you to enter the next chapter underestimating the wisdom you now carry. Do not give him that advantage. Lift your head. Straighten your posture. Speak about yourself differently in the quiet places where no one hears you but me. When you catch yourself using the old language of self-dismissal, stop and correct it. When you feel the urge to compare your process to someone else's pace, pull back and return to my voice. When shame tries to tell you that because you still have scars you must still be weak, answer it with truth. Your scars are not proof of failure. They are evidence that you healed enough to keep moving. They are signs that what tried to stop you did not finish the job. Let that truth settle in you. Let it rewire how you see your own reflection. You do not need to become arrogant to honor what I have done in you. You simply need to become honest. And now I want you to understand why this matters so much in the season ahead, because if you continue minimizing what you have become, you will step into new things with an old posture, and that old posture will make you smaller than I designed you to be. If you keep seeing yourself as fragile in the wrong way, you will shrink when I ask you to stand. If you keep speaking over yourself as if you are behind, you will rush decisions out of insecurity. If you keep thinking of yourself as not ready enough, you will hesitate at doors I have already opened. If you keep treating your growth like it is not real, you will keep seeking external confirmation for what I have already confirmed inside you. That is why I am aggressing this now. I am not only healing your past, I am preparing your posture. I am teaching you how to carry yourself in the next chapter without dragging the old version of you behind like a shadow. So listen closely and take this into your spirit as a command wrapped in love. Stop belittling what I have built in you. Stop shrinking in your own imagination. Stop making yourself emotionally small because you are afraid of being disappointed again. Stand in the truth of who you are becoming. Let the wisdom in you have a voice. Let the discernment in you lead. Let the peace in you be trusted. Let the tenderness in you remain without apologizing for it. Let the strength in you stop hiding behind false humility. There is a difference between humility and self-erasure, and I do not want you confusing the two anymore. You do not honor me by pretending you have not grown. You honor me by acknowledging my work. You honor me by saying, "Yes, Lord, you changed me. Yes, Lord, you taught me. Yes, Lord, I am not who I was." That kind of agreement with truth is not pride. It is worship. It is trust. It is alignment. So come forward differently now. Walk into rooms with the quiet confidence of someone who has survived, learned, and been refined. Pray like someone who knows I have already built depth in you. Choose like someone who no longer needs chaos to feel alive. Receive like someone who understands that peace is not a trick. Set boundaries like someone who knows their value is not up for negotiation. Wait, if waiting comes again, like someone who has already seen what my timing can produce. Do not minimize what you have become, my child. You have become more rooted, more discerning, more stable, more aware, more able to carry what is real. You may still be in process, yes, but process does not cancel progress. You may still be healing, yes, but healing does not erase strength. You may still have questions, yes, but questions do not disqualify wisdom. Let that truth stay with you. Let it grow in you. Let it change how you move. Because the next doors I open will not need the smaller, frightened version of you that once only knew how to survive. They will require the deeper, wiser, steadier version I have been forming in secret. And that version of you is already here. Honor that. Receive that. Walk in that. My child, do not minimize what you have become, and do not minimize what I can do through you now. The strength, wisdom, and discernment I have formed in you are not just for your life. They are seeds meant to be sown into the lives of others. When you give, you release fire into the earth, light into hidden places, truth into hearts that are still searching. I have said, give, and it will be given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and my word does not return empty. This is your moment to stand in who you have become and act with bold, quiet obedience. I am inviting you to partner with me, to let your growth become someone else's breakthrough. As you respond, I will multiply your resources, deepen your peace, and establish you in ways you have not yet imagined. So rise and act now. Give through super thanks. Become a member, or use the PayPal link in the description, and let your becoming release life into others. My beloved child, now that you have come this far with me, now that you have let me speak into the hidden places of your story, I want to leave you with something that must become the anchor for everything that comes next. I do not want you walking forward carrying only fragments of what I have said. I do not want you stepping into the next chapter with a handful of insights but without the one truth that holds them all together. So come close, stay still, and receive this with your whole heart. I was with you all along. I was with you before the breaking. I was with you in the waiting. I was with you in the nights when you were too tired to explain what hurt. I was with you in the rooms where you smiled while your spirit felt bruised. I was with you in the moments when you thought nothing was changing. I was with you when certain doors closed and you thought all you heard was silence. I was with you when people misunderstood you, when opportunities slipped away, when you questioned your own worth, when you wondered whether your prayers had become too weak to reach me. I was there, not in theory, not as a distant idea, not as some abstract comfort you were supposed to recite when life became hard. I was there in the real weight of your real life. I was there in your body when anxiety tightened your chest. I was there in your mind when thoughts circled too long in the dark. I was there in your spirit when all you could do was whisper something unfinished and hope I understood what your words could not carry. I did understand. I always understood. You were never talking into an empty sky. You were never crying into an uncaring silence. You were never surviving alone, not for one single day. Even when you could not feel me the way you wanted, even when my presence seemed hidden behind unanswered questions, I was closer than your next breath. I was guarding things you did not know were under attack. I was preserving pieces of your heart you thought were already lost. I was holding back outcomes that would have harmed you more deeply than you realized. I was carrying you in ways you could not have recognized because you were still inside the storm, and storms rarely make room for clear vision while they are still raging. That is why I need you to stop telling your story as if it was only you against the darkness. It was never just you. It was you and me. It was your trembling faith and my steady hand. It was your tears and my witness. It was your questions and my patience. It was your weariness and my sustaining grace. I do not say that to take away the dignity of what you endured. I say it to restore the truth of how deeply loved you have been, even in the places where you felt most alone. So pause now. Breathe slowly. Let your mind travel back through the hardest places if you need to, not to reopen pain, but to see them differently. Look again at the nights you thought would crush you. Look again at the decisions you somehow made when your strength was low. Look again at the moments you nearly gave up, and yet did not. Look again at the way certain things fell apart and yet your life did not end with them. Look again at the fact that you are still here, still able to feel, still able to hear me, still able to hope, still able to receive love. That did not happen by accident. That happened because I never left. And I need that truth to become more than a comforting phrase to you. I need it to become the lens through which you now understand your entire journey. Because when you finally realize I was with you all along, the past begins to lose its power to confuse you. The pain may still be remembered, but it is no longer interpreted as abandonment. The waiting may still be remembered, but it is no longer interpreted as neglect. The breaking may still be remembered, but it is no longer interpreted as cruelty. Everything starts to look different when you see me inside it. And because I was with you all along, I need you to stop walking into the future as if you are stepping into unknown territory alone. You are not. I am already in what comes next. I am not sending you ahead to figure it out while I remain behind in the chapters we have already survived together. I go before you. I remain with you. I surround you. I am in the next conversation. I am in the next opportunity. I am in the next decision. I am in the next waiting room if there is one. I am in the next open door. I am in the next act of obedience. I am in the next moment when fear tries to rise and you have to choose whether to listen to the old wound or to my voice. That means you do not need to enter tomorrow with the posture of someone abandoned by what they cannot yet see. Let that old habit die here. Let the reflex of emotional self-protection loosen. Stop bracing for the future as if my faithfulness ended in the last chapter. Stop scanning the horizon for disaster as if my goodness is always one step behind your fear. Come forward differently now. Walk like someone who has evidence. Walk like someone who has already lived through enough with me to know I do not disappear when life becomes difficult. Walk like someone who has seen what my hidden hand can do in hidden seasons. When new uncertainty appears, do not immediately panic. Pause and remember. When a door opens, do not instantly assume it must collapse. Bring it to me and let me guide you. When a delay happens, do not quickly decide it means I am withholding love. Ask me what I am protecting, what I am shaping, what I am preparing. When an old fear rises in your chest because something feels unfamiliar, do not shame yourself, but do not obey the fear either. Turn toward me. Speak honestly. Say, Lord, I remember what you have already carried me through. Say, Lord, help me walk with you, not with the memory of what once hurt me. Say, Lord, train my heart to trust what your faithfulness has already proven. That is how you move forward now. Not with denial. Not with false confidence. Not with reckless optimism. You move forward with remembrance. You move forward with relational trust. You move forward by letting the history we have together become stronger than the anxiety of what you cannot yet predict. This is why I have taken so much time to speak to you through each of these moments. I have shown you that heaven saw what no one else saw. I have shown you that you did not survive by accident. I have shown you that the waiting was working, that the pain changed you but did not own you, that I am proud of the version of you that kept going, that what broke off needed to break, that heaven is responding to your faithfulness, that you must not minimize what you have become, and that this is the beginning of release. All of that leads here. All of it gathers into this final truth. I was with you all along, and because that is true, you can trust me with what comes next. Let that truth settle deep. Let it move from your ears into your bones. Let it interrupt the old stories you tell yourself when fear gets loud. Let it become the ground beneath your feet. Now, my child, I want to speak to the part of you that still feels hesitant, the part of you that hears all of this and yet quietly wonders, but what if I lose again? What if I trust and something hurts me again? What if I open my heart and the next chapter is not what I hoped? I know that part of you. I know how honest those questions are. I know they do not come from rebellion. They come from memory. They come from scars that still remember what they once survived. So let me answer that part of you with tenderness and authority. Yes, life may still hold moments you do not understand. Yes, there may still be days that stretch you. Yes, there may still be prayers that take time. I am not promising you a future without mystery. I am promising you a future without abandonment. I am not telling you that you will never face another storm. I am telling you that the next storm will not find you fatherless. I am not telling you that every door will stay open forever. I am telling you that every door I close and every door I open will still be held inside my wisdom and my love for you. That changes everything. It means your peace no longer has to depend on controlling outcomes. It means your courage no longer has to depend on certainty. It means your hope no longer has to depend on perfect conditions. It means you can walk into the unknown with a known God. And that, my beloved child, is enough. More than enough. So here is what I want you to do now. Take my hand in your spirit. Stop replaying only the chapters where you felt pain, and start remembering the chapters where I carried you through it. Stop making your future answer to your fear. Stop kneeling before the memory of old losses as if they have authority over what I am writing now. Stand up inside yourself. Open your heart. Receive my nearness as something real, something present, something active. Invite me into the details of your next season. Ask me to walk with you through every threshold. Ask me to remind you quickly when you forget. Ask me to steady you when old thoughts return. And then move. Move with peace. Move with reverence. Move with courage that does not need to be loud to be real. Move with the quiet confidence of someone who has discovered, through tears and time and truth, that they were never alone after all. This is how I want you to leave this message, not as someone still staring backward, but as someone stepping forward with me. Not as someone defined by what almost broke them, but as someone deeply marked by the God who kept them. Not as someone merely surviving, but as someone now walking into what heaven hath been preparing all along. So come, my child. Do not stay at the threshold. Do not linger in the doorway of old sorrow. Do not keep your hand on what I already asked you to release. Walk forward. Walk in the what? Walk wisely, but what? Walk with your eyes open, your heart surrendered, and your spirit listening. Walk knowing I was with you all along. Walk knowing I am with you now. Walk knowing I will be with you in everything that comes next. And as you do, let this final truth remain in you like a steady flame in the dark. Heaven saw everything, I saw everything, and I never once let go of you. My child, now that you know I was with you all along, walk forward with me in this moment of purpose. Just as I never left you, I am now sending you to be part of how I reach others who feel alone. When you give, you become a channel of my presence, a stream in the desert, a lamp in the night for souls who are still searching for me. I have declared, those who sow in tears will reap with psalms of joy, and I will fulfill that promise in your life. This is not a casual moment. This is a divine invitation to step into partnership with heaven itself. As you release what is in your hand, I will release what is in mine: favor, provision, protection, and peace that surpasses understanding. Do not hesitate. Do not overthink. Move with the trust you have learned through every chapter. Give now through super thanks. Step into membership, or use the PayPal link in the description, and walk forward with me in what I am doing next. Before you go, do this with me. Leave this declaration in the comments. Heaven saw everything, and God never let go of me. Do not scroll past this moment like it was ordinary, because it was not. If this message found you in the middle of your breaking, your waiting, or your rising, then plant your faith in public and type it now as your sign of agreement with what heaven has already spoken over your life. Write it boldly, because your story is not ending in silence. It is stepping into release. And if you know in your spirit that this word was for you, comment it now and let this be the line where your old season ends. Heaven saw everything, and God never let go of me. And now, my child, as you declare that heaven saw everything, I want you to understand what that means for the places in your life where you felt unseen. You may have thought your tears disappeared into the darkness, that your prayers went unheard, or that no one understood how much strength it took just to keep going. But I was there through every part of it. I saw what you never had the words to explain. I saw the moments when you smiled for others while quietly falling apart inside. I saw you keep moving when your heart was begging you to stop. So do not rush away from this moment now. Stay with me, because I want to remind you of what my presence has meant in every season you thought you were facing alone. My beloved dear child, I am your Creator, your Father in the heavens, ever present and overflowing with love for you. I am speaking to you right now. I know you are tired. I see the heavy weight you carry on your shoulders. You wake up every morning and put on a brave face. But I know the truth. I see the fear of the future that keeps you awake at night. I know the intense pressure at your job that makes you feel like you are constantly running just to stand still. I feel the unspoken tensions in your family, the quiet arguments that leave a knot in your stomach. Do you feel the tight knot right now? Take a deep breath. Let it go. A heavy fear does not come from me. I want to undo that knot with you today. I want you to recognize that the voice you hear now is unique, not merely another whisper in the wind. You have felt completely overlooked by the people around you. You work so hard, you give so much of your heart, and it seems like no one even notices. You feel invisible. I understand how deeply that hurts. I understand your pain perfectly when your tears flow unceasingly and your heart feels heavy with grief. You wipe away your own tears and think that you are entirely alone. But I am telling you today, you have never been alone. I have watched every single step you have taken. I have seen your path. I have witnessed your hidden faithfulness. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine you are walking through a dark, quiet valley where no one calls your name, tapping into the power of imagination to see this reality. You feel lost in the shadows, wondering if your efforts even matter. Now look up. See my bright light breaking through the clouds, shining directly on you. My eyes are always upon you. My gaze never leaves you. I have seen every time you chose to do the right thing when it was difficult. I saw the moments you helped someone else even when you were hurting inside. I noticed every time you bit your tongue to keep the peace. No act of service, no matter how small, has gone unnoticed by me. Your secret sacrifices are not wasted. You have spent so much time in the secret place, praying quiet prayers that you thought were hitting the ceiling and falling back down. You thought no one was listening. I was listening. I am always listening. I have collected every single one of your prayers. The secret place is where I build your strength. It is in the hidden, quiet moments that your roots grow deep into the soil of my love. You had to be hidden so you could heal. You had to be kept in the secret place so I could protect you from the storms that would have knocked you over before you were ready. Do not view your challenges as setbacks, for with my guidance they are stepping stones to greater heights. You have survived the waiting. You finally did it. Heaven saw everything, and heaven is rejoicing over you right now. I am so deeply proud of you. I am stepping in to change your reality. Your season of being hidden is coming to an end. You are stepping out of the shadows and into the bright light of my blessing. I will bring your silent efforts out into the open. The people who overlooked you will see what I have built inside of you. I am preparing to elevate you. I am lifting your head. Get ready. Open your hands right now. I command you to release the bitterness of feeling unseen. I invite you to step into the warmth of my complete approval. You do not need to strive for the attention of the world because you already have the total attention of your Creator. I have seen your pain, I have seen your patience, and I am telling you today that your reward is here. Your time in the dark is over. The dawn is breaking. Walk forward with your head held high, my precious child. You are seen. You are known. You are deeply, endlessly loved. My beloved dear child, I am your Creator, your Father in the heavens, ever present and overflowing with love for you. I am speaking to you right now. I know you are tired. I see the heavy weight you carry on your shoulders. You wake up every morning and put on a brave face, but I know the truth. I see the fear of the future that keeps you awake at night. I know the intense pressure at your job that makes you feel like you are constantly running just to stand still. I feel the unspoken tensions in your family, the quiet arguments that leave a knot in your stomach. You feel that tight knot right now. Take a deep breath. Let it go. A heavy fear does not come from me. I want to undo that knot with you today. I want you to recognize that the voice you hear now is unique, not merely another whisper in the wind. You have felt completely overlooked by the people around you. You work so hard, you give so much of your heart, and it seems like no one even notices. You feel invisible. I understand how deeply that hurts. I understand your pain perfectly when your tears flow unceasingly and your heart feels heavy with grief. You wipe away your own tears and think that you are entirely alone. But I am telling you today, you have never been alone. I have watched every single step you have taken. I have seen your path. I have witnessed your hidden faithfulness. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine you are walking through a dark, quiet valley where no one calls your name, tapping into the power of imagination to see this reality. You feel lost in the shadows, wondering if your efforts even matter. Now look up. See my bright light breaking through the clouds, shining directly on you. My eyes are always upon you. My gaze never leaves you. I have seen every time you chose to do the right thing when it was difficult. I saw the moments you helped someone else even when you were hurting inside. I noticed every time you bit your tongue to keep the peace. No act of service, no matter how small, has gone unnoticed by me. Your secret sacrifices are not wasted. You have spent so much time in the secret place, praying quiet prayers that you thought were hitting the ceiling and falling back down. You thought no one was listening. I was listening. I am always listening. I have collected every single one of your prayers. The secret place is where I build your strength. It is in the hidden, quiet moments that your roots grow deep into the soil of my love. You had to be hidden so you could heal. You had to be kept in the secret place so I could protect you from the storms that would have knocked you over before you were ready. Do not view your challenges as setbacks, for with my guidance they are stepping stones to greater heights. You have survived the waiting. You finally did it. Heaven saw everything, and heaven is rejoicing over you right now. I am so deeply proud of you. I am stepping in to change your reality. Your season of being hidden is coming to an end. You are stepping out of the shadows and into the bright light of my blessing. I will bring your silent efforts out into the open. The people who overlooked you will see what I have built inside of you. I am preparing to elevate you. I am lifting your head. Get ready. Open your hands right now. I command you to release the bitterness of feeling unseen. I invite you to step into the warmth of my complete approval. You do not need to strive for the attention of the world because you already have the total attention of your Creator. I have seen your pain, I have seen your patience, and I am telling you today that your reward is here. Your time in the dark is over. The dawn is breaking. Walk forward with your head held high, my precious child. You are seen. You are known. You are deeply, endlessly loved. I watched you during the final push. I saw you at the altar of your persistence. You were so tired. You wanted to give up. You looked at your bank account. You looked at the empty chairs at your table. You looked at the medical reports. And you thought, what is the use? But you did not stop. I saw you push through the heavy fog of doubt. You prayed one more time. You cried one more tear. You asked for my help just one more time. You were like the widow who kept knocking on the door, refusing to be ignored. You knocked and you knocked and you knocked. And today I am opening the door. I am swinging it wide open for you. The barrier has finally been breached. Do you remember the times you laid on your bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling like the air in the room was thick and heavy? You felt stuck. You felt like your words were just hitting the roof and coming right back down to you. But a shift has happened. I have shifted the spiritual atmosphere around you. Close your eyes and feel it right now. The air is clear. The heavy weight is gone. A fresh breeze from heaven is blowing into your room, into your mind, and into your life. You pushed through the invisible wall, and you finally broke through. You did it. I gave you the strength, but you had to make the choice to keep pushing. And I am so proud of you. You have asked me, over and over, why did it take so long? Why did I have to wait through all this pain? I want to answer you directly. I want to look into your eyes and tell you the truth. The delay was not a punishment. The waiting was not a sign that I was angry with you. The time it took was exactly the time needed to build your spiritual muscles. If I had given you the blessing on day one, you would not have been strong enough to carry it. The weight of the blessing would have crushed you. But look at you now. Look at how strong you have become. You have gained a deep, unshakable maturity. You are no longer a child easily blown around by the wind. You are a strong warrior. You survived the weight. You learned to trust me even in the absolute dark. You learned to hold my hand even when you could not see my face. Because of this, you are ready. I have prepared you to handle the massive blessing that is pouring out right now. The wall is broken. The dam has burst. Step forward into this new space. Breathe in the victory. The struggle of waiting is over, and the season of receiving has begun. Take my hand, and let us walk through this open door together. I am handing you the keys to the doors you thought were locked forever. Do not look back at the years you spent waiting with regret. Look at them as your training ground. Every tear watered the seeds of your future. Every long night taught you how to appreciate the morning sun. You have graduated from the school of waiting. You have earned this breakthrough. I am honoring your bravery and your stubborn faith. Receive your reward today. Open your arms wide. The wait is over, and your new life starts right here. in this very second. I keep a record of everything. I have a book of remembrance in heaven, and your name is written on its pages in bright, bold letters. I know how the world works. The world forgets. Your boss forgets the extra hours you put in. Your friends forget the times you dropped everything to help them. People move on, and they leave you feeling like your sacrifices simply vanished into thin air. But I do not forget. I have never forgotten a single thing you have done. I see the earthly forgetfulness that breaks your heart, but I want you to know about my divine memory. I have seen every single tear you have shed. Do you remember the day you sat in your car, parked in the driveway, crying before you went inside because you did not want your family to see you break down? I was in the car with you. I caught every one of those tears. They did not fall into the dirt. They fell into my hands. I store your prayers and your tears in golden bowls in heaven. Not a single drop is wasted. Not a single whisper is lost. Every time you chose to forgive someone who hurt you, I wrote it down. Every time you gave money when your own wallet was almost empty, I recorded it. I am the ultimate accountant of your life. The ledger of your sacrifices is full, and the balance is in your favor. You have built up treasures in heaven that no one can steal. But I am not just waiting for you to get to heaven to reward you. I am bringing your eternal rewards down to earth right now. Your memorial has risen before me. The fragrance of your faith has reached my throne, and it smells like a sweet, beautiful perfume. I am stepping in to repay you for all the times you were shortchanged. I want you to stop feeling like you have wasted your life. Stop believing the lie that your efforts do not matter. Listen to me today. Open your eyes because the tough times you are dealing with will disappear. The help you have been looking for is on its way, and the support you need will be given to you. I am turning your unseen sacrifices into visible blessings. The people around you are going to be shocked when they see how I elevate you. They forgot you, but I remembered you. Take a deep breath and let this truth settle into your bones. You are heavily rewarded. You are fully recognized. Lift your head. Stop looking down at the dirt. Look up at the sky and know that your God is smiling at you. I am opening the vaults of heaven for you. I am pouring out the compensation for your pain. Everything you lost will be returned to you. Everything you gave will come back to you multiplied. Do not let the enemy tell you that you are forgotten. When the loud voices of doubt try to make you feel small, remind yourself of my golden bowls. Remind yourself of my ledger. You are a priority to me. I have marked your file with the word approve. Your faithfulness has moved my heart. I am so proud to call you my child. Stand tall today, knowing that the Creator of the universe is actively working to bless you and honor the beautiful, hidden life you have lived. I am turning your trial into a massive triumph. We are at the turning point. For so long, you have been living in a state of survival. You have been fighting just to keep your head above water. You felt like you were walking through a hot, dry, lonely desert. Your throat was dry, your spirit was tired, and you wondered if you would ever see a green pasture again. But the shift has happened. I have taken your sorrow, and I have performed a divine alchemy. I have turned your deep sadness into pure, bright joy. Think about the fire you just walked through. It was hot. It was scary. You thought the flames were going to burn your life to the ground. You lost things. You lost people you thought would be with you forever. But look closely at what remains. The fire did not consume you. The fire refined you. Like raw gold placed into a hot furnace, the dirt and the impurities were burned away. The fake friends are gone. The bad habits are broken. The toxic environments have been left behind. What is left is the pure, shining, valuable core of who you are. You survived the fire, and now you are shining. I am moving you out of the dry wilderness and placing you right beside a flowing wellspring. You are stepping into a season of constant refreshment. You will no longer wake up feeling thirsty for peace. You will no longer have to beg for a little bit of happiness. You are moving from being a desperate seeker to being a joyful receiver. I am pouring out the cool, fresh water of my spirit over your tired mind. Drink it in. Let it wash away the smoke and the ash of your past struggles. You must understand that the struggle was not an accident. The pain served a divine purpose. I used the pressure of your trial to create a diamond. You are that diamond. Your character is stronger now. Your faith is unbreakable. You know how to stand firm when the wind blows. I needed you to have that strength for the specific, grand purpose I have for your future. The trial was the exact training you needed to handle the massive triumph that is arriving at your door right now. I want you to declare this out loud right now. Say it. My test is now my testimony. Say it until you believe it. People will look at your life and they will see a walking, talking miracle. They will know the trouble you went through, and they will be amazed at where you are standing today. Your story will bring hope to people who are stuck in their own fires. You will reach back and pull them out. I am using your pain to bring light to the world. Step out of the ashes. Put on the beautiful clothes of victory. Do not shrink back into the mindset of a victim. You are a victor. The days of weeping are behind you. The mornings of joy have arrived. I command the shadows to flee from your mind. I invite you to dance in the sunlight of my favor. The turning point is not coming tomorrow. It is here today. This very moment. As you hear these words, the pages of your story are turning to a brand new, beautiful chapter. Embrace it. You are safe, you are strong, and you are wonderfully triumphant. I am your divine validator, and I am here to tell you exactly who you are. For too long, you have listened to the lies of the enemy. You have let the harsh words of other people define your worth. They told you that you were not smart enough. They said you were too old to start over or too young to lead. They labeled you as a failure, a disappointment, or just average. The accuser whispered in your ear that you have made too many mistakes to be loved or used by me. Today, I am fiercely rebuking every single one of those lies. Listen to my voice. My voice is the only one that matters. I say that you are a joint heir with Christ. Everything that belongs to my kingdom belongs to you. You are royalty. You have a royal priesthood dwelling right inside of you. You are not an afterthought. You are not a mistake. You are my masterpiece. I created you with a specific, brilliant design. When I look at you, I do not see your failures. I see the perfection of my Son, Jesus. I see a beautiful, capable, and immensely valuable child. I command you to strip off the nasty labels the world tried to stick on you. Peel them off and throw them in the trash. The world does not know your name. Only I know your true name. You are chosen. You are forgiven. You are deeply loved. You are powerful. Speak these words over yourself every single morning when you look in the mirror. Look directly into your own eyes and declare, I am exactly who God says I am. When the feeling of imposter syndrome tries to creep into your mind, hit it with the truth of my word. You belong in Aru. You deserve the blessing. My love for you is completely unconditional. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to perform for it. You do not have to put on a mask and pretend to be perfect. I love you exactly as you are, right in this moment. Even when you mess up, my love does not shrink. It wraps around you tighter to pull you back to safety. I am sealing your heart today against the accusations of the accuser. When the enemy tries to bring up your past, point him to my cross. The debt is fully paid. The argument is over. I am placing a crown of favor on your head. Stand up tall. Throw your shoulders back. Walk into your workplace. Walk into your home. And walk into your future with the confidence of a king or a queen. You are fully backed by the creator of the universe. I am your defense attorney, your protector, and your biggest fan. Step fully into your true identity. Reject the small, scared version of yourself. Do not let anyone make you feel small ever again. When they look at you, they will start to see the reflection of my light shining through you. You are a carrier of my divine presence. Let that truth sink deep into your soul. You are safe. You are protected. No weapon formed against you will ever prosper, because I am standing right in front of you. Embrace your true self today. You are a breathtaking creation, and I am endlessly proud to call you my own. My beloved, now that you know exactly who I say you are, I invite you to carry this liberating truth to the broken hearts still trapped in the dark. You have finally stepped out of the shadows into your divine identity. Now, partner with me to fund the massive harvest of souls desperate for this exact revelation. I declare this truth over you today. You are the light of the world, and a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. This is your divine appointment to sow powerful seeds of light by supporting this ministry through a super thanks, becoming a channel member, or giving via the PayPal link in the description. When you give, you become a flowing river of my grace, rescuing others from the agonizing lies of the accuser. I promise to radically multiply your seed, wrapping your home and your finances in an impenetrable shield of my favor. Step out in bold faith and release your generous offering right now. My precious child, do not turn away from my voice now. It deeply grieves my heart to see you walk away right before the massive floodgates of your life swing open. If you stop listening here, you are leaving your greatest, most magnificent blessings completely unclaimed. Please stay with me. The absolute turning point of your entire existence is unfolding in these next words, and I desperately need you to hear the rescue I have planned for you. I am sending the sound of abundance directly to your ears. Listen closely. Can you hear it? It is the rumble of thunder in the distance. It is the smell of fresh rain right before the sky opens up. The long, brutal drought is officially over. For years, you have lived in a dry season. Your bank account felt dry. Your relationships felt dry. Your own heart felt like cracked, parched earth. You planted seeds of hard work and love, but it seemed like nothing ever grew. You wondered if the rain would ever return. I am telling you today, the flood is coming. Look at the contrast between what you have lived through and what is arriving right now. You are moving from a trickle to an overflow. I allowed the desert season for a very specific reason. When a tree is in a dry place, it is forced to push its roots deep underground to find hidden sources of water. Your roots have grown deep. You are grounded. You are stable. If the heavy rain of success had come when your roots were shallow, you would have been washed away. But now, you are firmly planted. You are ready to handle the massive harvest that is about to drop into your life. I am going to replenish everything you lost during the dry years. Every dollar that was stolen or wasted, I am bringing back. Every opportunity that passed you by, I am replacing with something far better. Every relationship that drained you will be replaced by connections that fill you up. The parched land of your life is turning into a lush, fruitful garden. I command you to prepare bigger storehouses. Do not plan for a small blessing. Stop thinking small. Expand your vision. The amount of favor I am pouring out will not fit into your old containers. I invite you to start dreaming again. During the drought, you stopped dreaming because it hurt too much to be disappointed. You lowered your expectations just to survive. But I am waking up your imagination today. Let your hopes soar. Start planning for success. Start talking like a winner. Start acting like the drought is already a thing of the past, because it is. I am washing away the dust of disappointment. I am filling your cups until they spill over the edges. You will have enough for yourself, your family, and plenty left over to bless the people around you. Get ready to dance in the rain. You're off the heavy coat of worry. You do not need it anymore. You are stepping into a season of rapid, healthy growth. Things that used to take years will now take weeks. Doors that were rusted shut are going to fly open effortlessly. You have endured the heat of the day, and now you will enjoy the cool, refreshing downpour of my absolute favor. Stand in the middle of your field, lift your face to the sky, and receive the abundance that has your name written all over it. Do not be afraid of this new success. Sometimes, getting what you have always wanted can be intimidating. But remember, I am the one holding your hand through it all. I will give you the wisdom to manage the overflow. I will show you exactly what to do with the resources I am placing in your lap. Trust my guidance. The rain is a gift, a pure expression of my love for you. Open your heart and accept it fully. You are richly blessed, completely restored, and surrounded by my endless, abundant grace. I am holding the master key to your life, and I want you to look closely at what I am doing right now. I know the deep frustration you have carried. I have watched you stand in front of so many closed doors. You sent out the resumes. You applied for the loans. You tried to fix broken relationships, and you knocked as hard as you could. You put in the late hours and did everything right by human standards, yet the door remained firmly shut. Rejection after rejection left you feeling inadequate and exhausted. You began to believe that maybe you were simply not meant to succeed, that perhaps you were not good enough. I am telling you today, the door was not closed because you lacked value. I kept those doors locked to protect you from entering rooms where you did not belong. Now, the season of striving is over. I hold the key of David, and when I open a door, no manager, no bank, no economy, and no human being on this earth can shut it. I am stepping in to bypass the normal rules of human effort. You are about to experience divine favor, and it will look like a sudden, unexpected miracle. You will be going about your normal day, sitting at your desk or walking through the grocery store, and the situation will instantly change. The phone will ring. Email will arrive. A conversation will shift. The door will swing wide open without you even having to lift a finger to knock. This is the power of my intervention. I am moving the obstacles out of your way because your time has come. You might wonder why it is happening now. Listen to me. Your quiet obedience was the actual key. When you were feeling completely depressed but still got out of bed to care for your family, that was obedience. When you were passed over for the promotion but still did your job with excellence, that was obedience. When you held your tongue instead of speaking in anger, you were turning the key in the lock. Your daily faithfulness moved my heart. You proved that you could be trusted in the dark, and now I am trusting you with a light. I invite you to step across the threshold right now. Leave the hallway of waiting behind you. I must give you a very clear and strict warning today. Do not look back at the doors I have closed. I command you to stop standing at the locked doors, mourning what did not work out. Stop replaying the failures in your mind. If you had walked through those old doors, you would have settled for a tiny fraction of the massive destiny I have prepared for you. The people who rejected you were actually pushing you toward my perfect plan. Release them from your anger. Forgive the situations that caused you pain. Your new path is entirely clear. Look straight ahead. I invite you to step boldly into these new dimensions of your destiny. You are walking into a space of extreme favor, and I am holding the door open just for you. I have watched you navigate a world that has lost its way, and I am so deeply proud of your integrity. You live in a culture that constantly demands compromise. You see people bowing to the modern idols of instant fame, ruthless ambition, and the endless hustle for more money. You have watched others cut corners, lie, and step on people to get ahead in their careers. The temptation to join them was very real. You thought to yourself, if everyone else is doing it and succeeding, maybe I should too. But you did not. You kept your heart pure. You chose the hard road of honesty. I commend your spirit today for not bowing to the pressures of this modern world. You stood firm when the ground beneath you was shaking. You not think for 1 second that your integrity went unnoticed. I saw it every time you told the truth when a lie would have saved you money or embarrassment. I saw you refuse to participate in the toxic gossip at your workplace. You thought you were falling behind, but in my kingdom, you were moving straight to the front of the line. Your pure heart is your greatest asset. It is a rare and beautiful treasure in a dark world. You are part of my faithful remnant, the ones who stay the course no matter the cost. I am openly honoring your quiet dedication. I know there were moments when you felt so weak that you did not think you could take another step. You remember the days you locked yourself in the bathroom just to cry because the pressure was too heavy. You felt like you were completely failing. But I want to change your perspective right now. Your weakest moments were actually your strongest moments, because that is when you stopped relying on your own power and completely surrendered to mine. When your strength ran out, my grace rushed in. My grace was entirely sufficient for your journey. It held you up when your own legs gave out. It kept your mind from breaking when the anxiety was overwhelming. I invite you to look back and see the undeniable beauty of your endurance. You did not quit. You stayed the course. You fought the good fight even when you could not see the finish line. That takes a massive amount of courage. I am reaching out to place a special crown of honor on your head today. It is a crown meant only for those who endure the fire without losing their faith. Stand firm in the truth that you have done well. Do not let the enemy minimize your victory. You are stronger than you have ever been, and your unwavering character is bringing immense glory to my name. Keep your feet planted on the solid rock. The hardest part of the battle is over, and your reward is fully secured. I am drawing very close to you right now, not just as your king, but as your healer. You have survived the battle, and you are finally out of the intense fire, but I know you are still carrying the wounds. You are safe now, but your mind and your body are still reacting as if you are under attack. You suffer from the trauma of the past season. You find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop. When something good happens, you instantly feel panic, thinking it will be taken away from you. The mental burnout is real. The emotional exhaustion of keeping it together for your family has drained you dry. I see the scars you tried to hide behind a smile. Extend your hands to me right now. I am reaching out to gently touch the deep scars of your previous season. I am the balm of Gilead, the ultimate, soothing medicine for your tired, anxious soul. I command the lingering effects of stress and trauma to leave your body right now. I am restoring your mental and emotional peace. I want to calm your racing heart. I want to give you back the ability to sleep deeply and peacefully through the night without waking up in a cold sweat of worry. You do not have to live in survival mode anymore. You can finally let your guard down. I am your shield, and you are safe in my arms. There are areas of your life that have felt completely dead or dormant for years. Your passion for life faded. Your ability to laugh from the bottom of your stomach disappeared. Your creative dreams felt like they dried up and blew away in the wind. Today, I am speaking pure, vibrant life into every single one of those dead areas. I command your joy to wake up. I command your creativity to breathe again. I invite you to feel the warmth of my love melting the ice around your heart. You are not meant to just survive this life. You are meant to thrive, to enjoy the simple moments, and to feel deeply alive. Listen to my firm promise. The trauma of your past will absolutely not dictate your future. The enemy wants you to believe that you are permanently broken, but I say that you are beautifully mended. I am giving you a fresh infusion of my Holy Spirit right now to bring vitality back into your bones. Breathe deeply. With every breath, inhale my healing peace and exhale the heavy, toxic memories of the past. You are being renewed from the inside out. Your mind is being cleared of the fog. Your heart is being softened. Step forward into this new day without the heavy baggage of yesterday. You are completely healed, perfectly restored, and ready to walk in the total freedom I have purchased for you. I want to open your spiritual eyes today so you can see exactly how you survived the last few years. You thought you were fighting this battle entirely on your own. When you were driving home late at night, gripping the steering wheel and crying in the dark, you thought the car was empty. When you were sitting in the tense meeting at work, feeling attacked and isolated, you believed you were the only one in your corner. I am telling you the absolute truth today. You have never, ever been alone. I dispatched a heavy guard of my angels to surround you, protect you, and fight for you. There is an invisible world of protection operating all around you, every single minute of the day. My messengers have been fighting intense, violent battles on your behalf that you never even saw. Think about the close calls in your life. Remember that near accident on the highway that you narrowly avoided. Remember the sickness that suddenly and inexplicably turned around. Remember that sudden, overwhelming urge to stay home instead of going out, or the intuition to pause before sending an angry email. That was not luck. That was not a coincidence. That was the direct, physical intervention of my angelic host. They were actively shifting circumstances to keep you safe and keep you on the right path. Your success and your survival are heavily linked to this angelic assistance. When the enemy tried to lay traps for your finances or your family, my angels dismantled them in the dark. I want you to completely banish the thought that you are unprotected or vulnerable. I command my host to encamp around those who fear me, and you are surrounded by an impenetrable wall of heavenly security. The toxic people who suddenly moved out of your life, the situations that strangely resolved themselves without your effort, these were the operations of my divine army clearing the brush so you could walk forward safely. Right now, in this very moment, heaven is throwing a massive celebration over your victory. The angels who watched you struggle and fought alongside you are rejoicing because you did not give up. You crossed the finish line. I invite you to tap into this reality today. When you walk into a difficult room, do not walk in timidly. Walk in knowing that a legion of my angels is walking in right behind you. You carry the authority of heaven wherever you go. Stop living in fear of what people can do to you or what the future might hold. You are the most fiercely protected child in the universe. Stand bold, stand confident, and know that the entire forces of heaven are completely backing you up. My precious child, heaven has fiercely fought for you in the unseen battles, and now I am calling you to stand on the front lines to fight for the souls of others. Heaven saw everything you endured to reach this victory, and I am extending a direct, personal invitation to partner with me in sending this divine rescue mission across the globe. He who aggressively refreshes others will undoubtedly be refreshed himself. This is my active, breathing promise to your life today. The spiritual hour is incredibly urgent, and your financial seed is the holy oil that keeps this blazing fire of truth burning for those still lost in the wilderness. Support this vital mission today by clicking the Super Thanks button, joining as a member, or using the PayPal link located in the description below. As you pour out your faithful offering, I will unleash 100-fold return, commanding my angelic host to heavily guard your resources. Obey this prophetic nudge immediately and plant your seed of victory today. Are you still here with me, my beloved? Please do not pull away. It shatters my heart when you cry out for a massive miracle, but walk away before I can hand you the exact strategy to protect it. I have fought violently in the spiritual realm for your freedom. Now you must learn how to guard it. Give me your absolute, undivided attention for just a little longer. The safety and peace of your entire future hang on the words I am about to speak. I am celebrating the beautiful alignment that has happened within you. For a long time, you fought a silent war against my timing. You gripped the steering wheel of your life so tightly that your knuckles turned white. You had your strict 5-year plans, your rigid expectations of how your career should go, and exactly how your family should behave. When things did not go your way, you became frustrated, angry, and exhausted. You were trying to force open doors with your own strength. But I have watched a profound change take place. I have watched you slowly, finally let go. Your desires and my divine purpose have perfectly merged into one. You have finally discovered the massive peace that comes from total surrender. You realize that your striving was only causing you pain. When you stopped fighting me and started trusting me, the entire atmosphere of your life shifted. You stopped telling me what to do, and you started asking me what I am doing. This is what it means to be in kingdom alignment. You are no longer trying to do things for me using your own exhausted energy. You are finally letting me work through you. I invite you to completely drop the heavy burden of trying to control the universe. That is my job, and I am very good at it. There is absolute beauty in walking in the Spirit every single day. It means waking up without the crushing pressure of having to figure everything out. It means going to your job, handling your household, and making decisions with a quiet confidence, listening for my gentle nudge. Go here. Say this. Wait on that. Do not send that message yet. When you follow my rhythm, life stops being a chaotic battlefield and turns into a beautifully choreographed dance. You are walking in step with me now. Your goals are aligned with my goals. Your heart breaks for the things that break mine, and you rejoice in the things that bring me joy. I want to affirm you today. Your success is no longer just earthly success. It is a kingdom asset. Every step you take forward now brings direct glory to my name. Because you have surrendered your will to mine, I can trust you with unprecedented levels of influence and blessing. I command you to continue relying entirely on my voice. Do not go back to your old habits of making rushed decisions based on panic or fear. Stay locked into my presence. We are partners in this journey. Keep your ears tuned to my frequency. Keep your hands open in surrender, and watch how smoothly and powerfully your life unfolds when your will is perfectly intertwined with mine. I want to talk to you about your family tree. I see the heavy patterns that have been passed down through your bloodline for generations. I know about the inherited struggles that no one likes to talk about at family gatherings. The deep-rooted anxiety, the cycles of poverty, the unspoken anger, the history of broken marriages, and the quiet addictions that have hidden in the shadows of your lineage. You grew up watching these patterns. You felt the weight of them. You even worried that you were destined to repeat the same mistakes, that you would inevitably pass this heavy baggage down to your own children. But I am stepping in today to tell you something incredibly powerful. It stops with you. You are the breaker of chains. I chose you specifically for this massive task. When you decided to seek my face, when you chose to forgive the people who deeply hurt you, when you refused to let bitterness harden your heart, you were doing far more than just saving yourself. You were fighting a spiritual battle for your entire family line. Every time you stayed on your knees when you wanted to quit, you were actively breaking the old chains that held your parents and your grandparents down. Your obedience has sent a shockwave through your bloodline. The ripple effect of your faith is completely changing the destiny of your family. I want you to look closely at the children in your life, or imagine the generations that will come after you. They will not have to fight the same brutal demons that you fought. They will not have to start their lives at a deficit. Because you did the hard, agonizing work of healing, they get to start from a place of freedom. You have planted deep, strong seeds of faith that are going to grow into massive trees of shelter for your future generations. I am establishing an inheritance of blessing that you are leaving behind. It is not just about leaving them money or a house. You are leaving them a legacy of an open heaven. I affirm to you today that your single yes to me has completely rewritten your family history. The toxic cycles are officially broken. Do not look at your children and worry that they will inherit your worst traits. I command you to stop projecting your past fears onto their future. Your children are going to walk in the bright, clear light that you fought so hard to find. They will know peace because you modeled peace. They will know how to trust me because they watched you trust me when everything was falling apart. I invite you to celebrate this massive victory. You did not just survive your life, you rescued your lineage. The generational curses are shattered, replaced by 1,000 generations of my steadfast blessing. Your breakthrough is not a solo event. It is a family rescue mission. I am so incredibly proud of your courage. Walk forward knowing that your victory has literally cleared the path for those coming up right behind you. You have changed your family tree forever, and heaven is honoring your monumental achievement. Now that the breakthrough has arrived, I must give you the exact strategy to maintain your new level. Getting the victory is one thing. Keeping it requires wisdom. The enemy knows he has lost the battle for your destiny, but he will immediately try to steal your peace. He will try to make you feel overwhelmed by the very blessings you prayed for. The new job will bring new responsibilities. The new income will bring new decisions. The healed relationship will require ongoing grace. I am warning you right now against the complacency that often follows a massive success. Do not let your guard down just because the immediate crisis is over. I command you to fiercely guard your peace. Peace is not just a nice feeling. It is your ultimate spiritual weapon. When you operate in peace, the enemy cannot manipulate you with panic. You must set strict, new spiritual boundaries in your life. You can no longer afford to entertain toxic conversations. You cannot afford to engage in petty arguments that drain your energy. If a person or a situation costs you your peace, the price is simply too high. I invite you to learn the holy power of the word no. Say no to unnecessary obligations. Say no to the guilt trips placed on you by people who refuse to grow. Protect the sacred space I have built inside your mind. You must stay deeply grounded in my word. When life gets busy and the blessings start flowing, it is very easy to push our quiet time to the side. You might think, God fixed the problem, so I can handle it from here. Do not make that mistake. The same daily communion that got you out of the valley is the exact same communion required to keep you on the mountaintop. I need you to wake up every morning and put on the heavy armor of gratitude. Gratitude is the protective shield that keeps pride from infecting your success. When you constantly acknowledge that I am the source of the victory, your heart stays humble and safe. You not let the stress of success rob you of the joy of the blessing. When you feel the familiar knot of anxiety trying to form in your stomach over your new responsibilities, stop immediately. Breathe in my presence. Remind yourself that I did not bring you this far to drop you. I will give you the exact wisdom you need to manage every new challenge that comes with this promotion, this relationship, or this new season. I am your constant source. You do not have to sustain this blessing entirely on your own strength. Lean heavily on me. Build fences around your time, your energy, and your heart. I am giving you the authority to manage your life with absolute clarity. Stand strong, stay vigilant, and ruthlessly protect the beautiful, calm, and prosperous reality I have just handed to you. The victory is yours. Now, walk in it with careful, deliberate wisdom. I know the question that has been burning in your heart for years. You have cried out to me, why did I have to wait so long? Why couldn't this have happened a year ago or 5 years ago? I want to sit down with you right now and explain the absolute precision of my timing. I operate in the Kairos moment, the exact, perfect, appointed time. I am not bound by your earthly clocks or your personal deadlines. I see the entire map of your life from above, while you can only see the few steps directly in front of you. I want to reveal to you that I orchestrated every single delay for your ultimate protection. If I had opened that specific career door when you first banged on it, the toxic management in that building would have completely crushed your spirit and destroyed your confidence. If I had brought that specific relationship into your life when you were begging for it, you would have settled for a fraction of what you deserved because you did not yet know your true worth. The delay was actually my heavy shield of protection. I was keeping you away from hidden disasters that you could not see. I also had to align a massive network of circumstances behind the scenes to make this current breakthrough possible. People had to be moved into the right positions. Budgets had to be approved. Hearts had to be softened. It was a complex puzzle, and I was putting every single piece in its perfect place. More importantly, massive growth had to happen inside of you before you could handle the blessing. I was stretching your capacity. I was expanding your emotional maturity. If I had given you the $1 million answer while you still had a $10 capacity, you would have lost it all. I affirm to you today that my timing is always absolutely perfect. I am never early, and I am never, ever late. The clock struck now because this is the exact second you were fully ready. The environment is ready, and your character is fully developed to sustain the weight of this favor. I invite you to completely release the bitterness you have held regarding the waiting period. Let go of the anger over the lost time. I command you to trust the rhythm of my spirit. You do not have to rush anymore. You do not have to hustle out of panic. The frantic energy of trying to make things happen on your own timeline must end today. Breathe a deep sigh of relief. The waiting room is closed. The doors are open. Step forward with total confidence, knowing that the stage has been flawlessly set for you. You have arrived at the exact right moment, perfectly equipped for the tremendous destiny I am unfolding before your eyes right now. I want you to stop looking at your external circumstances for just a moment and look deep inside yourself. I want you to see the incredible, evident growth that has taken place in your character. Think back to who you were a few years ago. Think about the old version of you. The old you would have reacted to stress with intense anger. The old you would have completely fallen apart over a rude comment or a sudden financial setback. The old you lived in a constant state of defense, ready to fight or run away at the slightest provocation. But look at the new creation you have become. I see the deep, genuine patience that now dwells inside of you. When someone cuts you off in traffic or speaks rudely to you at work, you no longer explode. You pause. You take a breath. You respond with a calm control that surprises even you. I see the profound kindness you now extend to people who do not necessarily deserve it. This is the ultimate proof of my spirit working heavily inside of you. The brutal pressure you endured did not crush you. It pressed you like a grape, and it produced the rich, valuable wine of the Spirit. I am celebrating the massive maturity of your character under extreme trial. You learned how to suffer without becoming bitter. You learned how to be disappointed without becoming cynical. This internal transformation is actually your greatest achievement. It is a far bigger miracle than a new house, a promotion, or a cleared bank account. Money can be spent, and earthly titles can be lost, but the solid, Christ-like character you have built is permanent. I affirm that the internal work is finished, and it is beautiful. You are solid. You are grounded. You are not easily shaken by the daily dramas of the world. I command you to boldly display my nature to the world around you. When you walk into a chaotic room, let your presence be the anchor that brings the anxiety level down. Let your calm voice be the sound of reason. Let your genuine smile be the evidence that I am real. Do not minimize the changes in your heart. Own your growth. Be proud of the hard work you have put into your own healing. You actively partnered with me to pull out the weeds of anger and plant the seeds of love. You are a walking, breathing testament to my transformative power. Step into your day knowing that you carry the very attitude and temperament of heaven. You are a beautiful, mature, and deeply grounded child, and I am profoundly delighted by the person you have become. You have allowed the crushing trials to produce the sweet, rich wine of my spirit inside you, but this magnificent fruit was never meant to be consumed alone. Heaven saw your silent maturity, and now I am asking you to feed the spiritually starving multitudes who desperately need this very message of hope. I prophesy this directly over your life. Cast your heavy bread upon the waters, and you shall surely find it multiplied after many days. Partner with me in this urgent, holy work by giving a super thanks, stepping up as a member, or utilizing the PayPal link located in the video description. Your generous seed is the absolute key to expanding this massive harvest, carrying my restorative word into the deepest, darkest valleys of the earth. In return for your faithful stewardship, I will radically bless your storehouses, pouring out supernatural acceleration upon your own finances. Do not hesitate. Stretch out your hand and sow your powerful seed right now. Do not stop now. My heart aches at the mere thought of you losing focus right at the very edge of your ultimate restoration. We have walked too far through the dark together for you to quit listening now. I am about to unlock the heavy vaults of heaven and repay you for every single year the locusts stole from you. If you close this out, you leave your divine compensation behind. Stay with me. Let me finish this monumental, beautiful work in your tired soul. I hear the silent grief you carry about the passage of time. You look in the mirror, you look at your calendar, and you feel a deep, heavy panic. You feel like you are drastically behind your peers. You look at the years you spent trapped in that toxic relationship, the years you wasted battling that severe depression, or the decades you spent working at a dead-end job that drained your soul. You feel like the locusts came and ate the best years of your life. You feel too old to start over and too tired to catch up. I am speaking directly to that deep, specific fear today. I am the creator of time itself, and I am not bound by the human calendar. I promise you right now a supernatural acceleration of your progress. What takes normal people 20 years to build, I am going to help you build in just a few short months. I am stepping in to completely reclaim the time you spent in sorrow, in waiting, and in confusion. I operate under the principle of divine compensation. When the enemy steals from you, my law dictates that he must return it, and I am ensuring that he pays you back with serious interest. I am handing you a double portion for your past shame. For every day you felt embarrassed, left behind, or broken, I am giving you 2 days of extreme honor, joy, and success. The years that felt like a complete waste were actually an intense investment. You were learning critical lessons in the dark that are going to propel you forward at lightning speed in the light. You have a depth of wisdom that younger, untested people simply do not possess. Your supposed wasted years are the exact foundation upon which I am building your massive future. I affirm to you with absolute authority that nothing is truly lost in my kingdom. I gather up your broken pieces, your lost time, and your delayed dreams, and I weave them into a masterpiece of redemption. I command you to stop mourning the past. Stop looking backward at the calendar with regret. Stop saying, "I am too old," or "it is too late for me." Do not curse the beautiful timeline I have established for you. I proclaim over your life a season of rapid, explosive, and healthy growth. The doors are flying open. The resources are being rapidly released. The right people are suddenly appearing in your path. You are about to catch up and completely surpass where you thought you should be by now. Lift your head. Take off the heaviness of regret. You are stepping into the most vibrant, productive, and joyous season of your entire existence. The years of the locust are over. The years of the ultimate harvest begin today. I am wrapping you in my heavy covenant of favor today. I want you to understand exactly what this means for your daily life. Favor is not just good luck. Favor is my divine, unmerited assistance placed directly on your shoulders. For years, you looked at the strict math of your life, the towering stack of bills on your kitchen counter, the massive debt hanging over your head, the lack of influential connections in your phone, and you calculated that you would always be stuck at the bottom. You thought you needed the perfect resume, the flawless credit score, or the right family name to get ahead. But I am stepping in today to completely bypass the natural laws of man. You are about to see my favor open doors that human logic says should remain permanently locked to you. Pause for a moment and look at your own hands. Those hands have worked so incredibly hard, yet human effort alone has not been enough to break the thick glass ceiling above you. That is because earthly effort has a strict limit. My divine favor has no limit whatsoever. You are going to receive opportunities that you are not technically qualified for on paper. People are going to look at your rapid rise and wonder how you did it. They will ask who you know, and you will simply look at them and tell them that you know me. I chose you for this specific blessing not because you are flawless, but because your heart is entirely positioned toward me. I saw you remain faithful when you had nothing, and because of that deep, quiet loyalty, I can finally trust you with everything. Listen to me carefully, my beloved child. With this massive favor comes a beautiful and serious responsibility. I am not blessing you so that you can become arrogant or boastful. I am giving you this extreme advantage so that you can be a living, breathing testament to my goodness in a world that is desperate for real hope. When the promotion is handed to you, when the loan is unexpectedly approved, when the impossible situation suddenly resolves in your favor, I command you to keep your heart entirely humble. Do not forget the dark valley I pulled you out of. Use your new position to show my radical love to the people around you who are still struggling in the dark. Do you feel the intense shift happening right now? The heavy atmosphere of constant rejection is completely lifting off your tired shoulders. I am replacing it with a thick, protective shield of divine preference. My presence is your absolute greatest advantage in this life. You do not need to fight for a seat at the table anymore. I have already reserved the head chair exclusively for you. Walk into your workplace tomorrow with your head held high. Walk into the bank, walk into the courtroom, walk into the doctor's office with absolute, unshakable confidence. My favor is walking into the room 10 steps ahead of you, softening hard hearts and changing stubborn minds. I promise you today that this heavy blanket of favor will follow you all the days of your life. It is not a temporary stroke of good luck. It is a permanent, unbreakable covenant. The exhausting days of fighting for scraps are over. You are stepping into a wide, open space where my goodness hunts you down and overtakes you completely. Trust in my absolute provision. Rely completely on my unseen hand to guide your steps. You are highly favored, deeply cherished, and eternally protected by your Creator. I am giving you a gift today that is far more valuable than any amount of money or earthly power. I am giving you wisdom far beyond your years. I remember the countless nights you sat on the edge of your bed, holding your head in your hands, completely paralyzed by deep indecision. You were so terrified of making the wrong choice. You worried intensely about taking the wrong job, trusting the wrong person, or moving to the wrong city. The severe anxiety of the unknown gripped your throat and made it hard to breathe. But I am telling you today that brutal season of deep confusion is officially over. I am completely upgrading your spiritual vision. I am giving you a crystal clear spirit of discernment. Your ears are now finely tuned to my quiet, steady whisper. During those long, dark years, when you felt so incredibly isolated, a profound work was happening deep inside of you. The thick darkness actually forced you to listen more closely. When you could not see the path ahead, you had to rely entirely on my voice to guide your next step. The immense value of the lessons you learned in the dark is finally coming into the bright light. You now know the subtle difference between the loud, panicky voice of your own fear and the calm, solid voice of my truth. You have learned exactly how to recognize my gentle nudge in your spirit. I invite you to step into this new clarity right now. When you are faced with a complex decision regarding your family or your career, you will no longer have to guess or lose sleep. I am giving you the very mind of Christ. You will look at a business deal that seems absolutely perfect on paper, but you will feel a quiet check in your spirit warning you to walk away. You will meet someone who says all the right words, but you will instantly discern their true, hidden intentions. I am giving you this sharp discernment to help you completely avoid the hidden traps the enemy has set for your future. Do not second-guess the powerful intuition I am placing inside your heart. If you feel a sudden lack of peace about a situation, stop moving immediately. That lack of peace is my heavy hand pulling you back from a dangerous cliff. If you feel a sudden, unexplainable urge to call a friend or take a different route home, obey it instantly. I am actively guiding your steps to keep you safe and highly prosperous. You have survived the painful consequences of your own past mistakes, and I am ensuring that you do not have to repeat those hard lessons ever again. You are walking in a new, elevated level of supernatural insight. I command you to generously share this deep wisdom with the people around you. You are becoming a safe harbor for others who are drowning in terrible confusion. When your friends and family come to you for advice, do not just give them your limited human opinion. Pause, listen to my voice, and give them the divine wisdom I share directly with you. Your words are going to carry a new, heavy weight of authority. People will be drawn to the profound peace and clarity you project. Stand firm in your new understanding. You are no longer stumbling blindly through the dark. You are walking straight forward, entirely illuminated by my perfect wisdom. I am infusing your soul today with a deep, unbreakable joy that completely transcends your earthly circumstances. For a very long time, your happiness has been entirely dependent on what was happening around you. If your bank account was full, you felt good. If someone criticized you at work or your plans fell apart, your entire week was ruined. You lived on a brutal emotional roller coaster, soaring high one minute and crashing down into severe depression the next. The constant, heavy pressure of trying to control your environment just to feel okay has left you utterly exhausted. I am stepping in today to break that exhausting cycle. I am replacing your fragile, temporary happiness with the solid, immovable joy of the Lord. I want you to understand exactly why this massive victory feels so different from worldly success. Worldly success is completely hollow. It is like eating cotton candy. It tastes sweet for a second, but it leaves you empty and desperately craving more. When you chase money, status, or human approval, you will always live in sheer terror of losing them. But the joy I am pouring into your chest right now is heavy, rich, and eternal. It is a profound sense of well-being that bubbles up from the very bottom of your spirit. Even when the world around you is incredibly chaotic, you can face a scary medical diagnosis, a sudden financial shift, or a difficult family conflict, and still feel an unexplainable, quiet smile resting safely in your heart. Close your eyes and let this absolute truth sink into your bones. My joy is actually a weapon. It is a powerful, aggressive sword against the constant attacks of the enemy. The accuser wants to keep you heavily burdened. He wants you to wake up every morning with a tight chest and a heavy, dark cloud of dread hanging over your head. But when you choose to rejoice in my goodness despite the storm, you completely disarm him. Your genuine laughter terrifies the forces of darkness. I invite you to laugh out loud today. Let the deep, merry heart I have given you act as a constant, soothing medicine for your tired body. You need this sustainable strength for the incredible journey that lies ahead of you. You cannot carry the massive blessings I have prepared for you if you are walking around with a heavy, depressed spirit. I command the dark cloud of melancholy to permanently lift from your life right now. I declare that the heavy spirit of heaviness is completely broken off your shoulders. Put on the beautiful garment of praise. I am giving you a gift that no boss, no ex-partner, no economic crash, and no human being can ever take away from you. Your joy is completely secure because it is firmly anchored in me, not in the shifting sands of this unpredictable world. Step completely into a deeper, daily celebration of my absolute goodness. Wake up tomorrow morning and, before you even check your phone or think about your stressful to-do list, take a deep breath and thank me for the breath in your lungs. Look at the bright sky and know that the creator of that sky is fiercely protecting you. Walk through your house, look at your family, and let a wave of intense gratitude wash over you. The long, weeping nights are officially over. The bright, glorious morning has arrived, and it is bringing a tidal wave of pure, unstoppable joy into every single corner of your life. I am handing you a massive miracle today, but with this great blessing comes a serious and holy responsibility. I need to teach you the profound strategy of stewardship. You have prayed desperately for this new level of influence, this financial breakthrough, and this restored peace. Now that the keys are firmly in your hand, you must learn how to drive the vehicle safely. Many people beg me for a massive harvest, but when the grain finally fills their barns, they hoard it completely. They become selfish, highly protective, and arrogant. They quickly forget the desperate prayers they prayed when their pots were completely empty. I know your heart, and I know you will not make that mistake, but you must remain intensely vigilant. I command you to be a free-flowing conduit of my blessing, not a stagnant cul-de-sac. Think about a strong pipe versus a bucket. A bucket holds water until it becomes stale, useless, and heavy. A pipe lets the fresh water rush in and rush right back out to water the dry, thirsty ground around it. I am pouring this extreme favor into your life so that it can flow directly through you and touch the people who are still trapped in the valley. When you see a coworker struggling with the exact same panic attacks that used to choke you, step in and help them. When you have extra resources, quietly pay for the groceries of the single mother standing behind you in line. Do not let this incredible success change your core character. The higher I elevate you, the deeper your true humility must go. When people begin to applaud you, when your name is recognized, and when your influence drastically expands, you must constantly point the bright spotlight directly back to me. Walk into the boardroom, walk onto the stage, and walk into your community with the quiet, gentle servant heart of Christ. Do not look down on the people who are currently fighting the brutal battles you just won. Reach your hand down into the dirt and pull them up. Show them the exact same radical grace that I showed you when you were completely broken. I want you to deeply understand the absolute beauty of this specific moment. Out of all the people on this earth, I carefully chose you to carry this specific miracle. I trust you. Let the heavy weight of that amazing truth settle your anxious heart. The Creator of the entire universe deeply trusts you with what He has just given you. I've seen your quiet, unseen integrity, and I know that you will use this powerful platform to build my kingdom, not just your own earthly empire. I am giving you a fresh, bold vision for the massive work ahead. Your current breakthrough is not the finish line. It is merely the starting line for a greater mission. We are going to partner together to bring profound light into very dark places. Maintain your daily discipline. Keep your knees firmly on the ground in prayer even when you are sitting in the CEO's chair or leading your family. Steward this precious miracle with absolute excellence, extreme generosity, and a deeply humble spirit. The world is desperately waiting to see what my love actually looks like, and I have chosen you to put it on full, beautiful display. My beloved one, I have entrusted you with a massive miracle, commanding you to be a rushing river of blessing rather than a stagnant bucket. Heaven saw everything you sacrificed to get here, and now it is time to prove your beautiful stewardship by lifting others out of the ashes with your generosity. I invite you directly, bring your faithful offering into this storehouse and completely test me in this, to see if I will not violently throw open the floodgates of heaven for you. The hour is critical, and your urgent financial support is what propels my living word into the desperate, broken homes that need it most. Become a vital partner today by choosing to give a super thanks, becoming a channel member, or sending a gift through the PayPal link in the description. As you generously water the lives of others, I will break the chains of poverty over your bloodline and shower you with unmerited financial favor. Take immediate action and release your kingdom seed today. We are incredibly close to the finish line, my child. Do not abandon this sacred conversation now. It profoundly disappoints my spirit when you survive the brutal fire of your trials, but refuse to stay for the final, impenetrable armor I am offering you. The enemy is aggressively whispering for you to stop listening, to click away and be distracted, but I am asking you to stay. Hear my final, powerful decrees over your life, so you can step out of this season as a completely untouchable victor. I am stepping into the courtroom of your mind today to permanently and totally silence the accuser. For years, you have lived under a heavy, suffocating blanket of quiet condemnation. Even as you receive my massive blessings today, there is a dark, nagging voice whispering in the back of your head and tells you that you are a complete fraud. It forcefully brings up the ugly mistakes you made a decade ago. It replays your failures, your moments of severe weakness, and your secret sins like a broken movie reel. The enemy tries to convince you that this massive victory is a mistake, that I will eventually realize how flawed you truly are and take it all away. I am completely shutting down that toxic voice right now. Listen to my absolute, unchangeable decree. The brutal season of your condemnation is completely and eternally over. The enemy has absolutely no legal claim on this blessing, and he has no legal claim on your life whatsoever. When the accuser tries to aggressively point out your dirty past, I point directly to the pure, powerful blood of the Lamb. Your sins are not just temporarily covered up. They are completely washed away, permanently erased from the record, and thrown into the deepest part of the ocean. Do not dare go diving for the garbage that I have already completely removed from your life. Do you feel the intense physical relief of this truth? Let it wash over your tired shoulders and your anxious chest. Your quiet obedience, your tears of genuine repentance, and your raw, stubborn faith have entirely silenced the harsh critics. The people who unfairly judged you, the fake friends who walked away from you, and the demonic forces that tried to crush your spirit have been proven completely wrong. I am your justifier and your ultimate, fierce defender. You do not have to waste your precious energy defending yourself or explaining your worth to people who refuse to understand you. I have already declared you entirely righteous, and my declaration is the absolute only one that stands. I command you right now to walk completely out of the prison cell of guilt. The heavy iron door has been wide open for a very long time, but you have been sitting inside, punishing yourself daily for things I forgave you for years ago. Stand up right now. Walk out into the bright, warm sunlight of my complete forgiveness. Hold your head incredibly high. You are not defined by your worst mistake. You are perfectly defined by my greatest sacrifice. This victory is not a temporary fluke. It is the final, established reality of your brand new life. Whenever that old, nasty voice of guilt tries to sneak back into your thoughts, you must fight back aggressively. Speak out loud and declare, I am entirely forgiven. I am deeply loved, and I am highly favored by the living God. Shut the accuser down with the brutal, beautiful truth of my grace. I have given you this ultimate breakthrough because I love you endlessly, and absolutely nothing you have done in the past can stop the massive flood of goodness I am pouring over you right now. Step forward with a completely clear conscience. You are clean, you are chosen, and your stunning victory is completely, beautifully final. I am placing a brand new psalm of praise directly into your mouth today. For so long, your song was a heavy, mournful cry. You spoke the language of mere survival. Your daily vocabulary was filled with words of severe exhaustion, deep worry, and quiet desperation. You talked about how tired you were, how empty your bank account was, and how deeply your heart hurt. But today, I am completely changing your tune. I am wiping away the heavy vocabulary of defeat and replacing it with a bright, powerful anthem of absolute victory. You are going to speak about my goodness with such intense passion that people will literally stop in their tracks to listen to you. I want you to understand the massive, world-changing power of sharing exactly what I have done for you. Your story is not just a personal memory. It is a highly effective spiritual weapon. When you sit across the table from a friend who is quietly drowning in the exact same panic attacks that used to choke you, your testimony will be their lifeline. When you look into the eyes of a coworker who is facing sudden bankruptcy and you tell them how I miraculously provided for you in your darkest hour, you will completely shatter their despair. Your raw, honest story of surviving the brutal fire will bring desperate, broken people straight to my feet. They will look at your restored life and realize that if I could do it for you, I can absolutely do it for them. Do not underestimate the massive global reach of a single, highly faithful life. You might think you are just one ordinary person living in a normal town, going to a regular job. But the ripple effect of your testimony cannot be contained. When you share the reality of my love, that story travels. It gets repeated. It crosses city lines and international borders. A simple word of encouragement you speak to a stranger at the grocery store can alter the trajectory of their entire family tree. I have carefully designed your specific breakthrough to be a bright, blazing lighthouse for people who are currently lost at sea. I am positioning you as a beacon of pure, unshakable hope. I affirm to you right now that your light is going to shine incredibly bright in some very dark places. I will intentionally place you in rooms with people who are powerful on the outside but completely broken and miserable on the inside. You will walk into corporate offices, hospital waiting rooms, and divided family gatherings carrying the undeniable atmosphere of heaven. You will not have to preach loudly. Your very presence, your profound peace, and your quiet confidence will loudly declare that I am completely real. The dark places will not intimidate you anymore, because you know that the heavy darkness completely bows down to the massive light you carry inside your chest. I command you today to boldly proclaim my total faithfulness. Do not hide your miracle out of false modesty. Do not stay quiet just to make cynical people feel comfortable. Shout it from the absolute rooftops. Tell your family, tell your neighbors, and tell your community how the Creator of the universe stepped directly into your messy, chaotic life and turned it into a stunning masterpiece. Open your mouth wide, and I promise you that I will fill it with the perfect words. Let your new song ring out loud and clear, echoing with the absolute truth of my endless, restorative, and highly powerful love. You have reached a beautiful, monumental milestone. But I must sit down with you right now to explain the absolute secret to spiritual longevity. You are experiencing a massive rush of success, favor, and relief. The heavy burdens have been lifted, and the doors are wide open. But I need you to listen to me very carefully. This current success is only the very beginning. To sustain this incredible momentum and to handle the even greater blessings I have planned for your future, you must remain intimately connected to me. I am the true vine, and you are the branch. If a branch decides it no longer needs the tree and breaks itself off, it might look green for a few days, but it will inevitably wither, dry up, and die. You must stay firmly attached to my presence. I know exactly how the modern world works. The culture around you constantly pushes the toxic lie of total self-sufficiency. The world tells you to hustle harder, to rely only on your own strength, and to build your empire with your own two hands. When the money starts flowing and the promotions come, it is dangerously easy to think, I have got this now. I do not need to pray as much. I am warning you against this deadly trap. The absolute worst thing you could do in this season of massive blessing is to unplug from the very source that brought you the blessing in the first place. Your intelligence, your strong work ethic, and your talent are beautiful gifts, but apart from me, you can do absolutely nothing of eternal value. I invite you to make daily communion with me the absolute non-negotiable priority of your entire life. Do not let the busy schedule of your new promotion crowd me out of your morning. Do not let the excitement of your restored relationships make you too tired to talk to me at night. I want you to wake up every single morning and consciously plug your spirit directly back into mine. Before you look at the stressful news, before you open a single email, and before you tackle the demands of your busy household, sit quietly in my presence. Let me pour fresh energy, sharp clarity, and deep peace into your tired mind. You cannot run a marathon on yesterday's water, and you cannot handle today's massive blessings on yesterday's grace. Think about the intense relief of simply abiding. Abiding does not mean striving, sweating, or panicking. Abiding simply means resting securely in my absolute capability. When the pressure of your new level tries to crush your chest, I command you to stop and rest in the vine. Let my heavy, rich sap of wisdom flow naturally into your decision-making. You do not have to carry the heavy weight of the world on your fragile shoulders. I am holding you up. I am supplying the nutrients. I'm providing the ultimate defense against the severe storms that will try to blow you off course. I promise you an even deeper, more profound intimacy if you choose to stay close to my heart. The miracles I have done for you recently are just scratching the surface of what I want to show you. There are hidden mysteries, massive strategies, and incredibly deep wells of joy that I reserve only for those who press into my presence. Do not settle for a shallow relationship with me now that your immediate crisis is over. Dig your roots down even deeper. Stay incredibly close to my voice. Rely entirely on my massive strength, and you will produce a stunning, endless harvest of good fruit that will last for all of eternity. Look around you at the incredible, massive blessings I have just poured directly into your life. Look at the restored bank account, the new opportunities, the healed body, and the deep peace resting inside your home. I want you to fully enjoy these beautiful gifts. I am a good father, and it brings intense joy to my heart to see you smiling and thriving on this earth. But I must gently lift your chin today and redirect your focus. I need to contextualize your earthly success within the massive, breathtaking scope of absolute eternity. As wonderful as this current breakthrough is, I promise you that the absolute best is still yet to come. I command you to keep your eyes firmly fixed on the eternal horizon. The world tries to convince you that earthly success is the ultimate finish line. It tells you that the highest goal is a massive retirement account, a beautiful house, and a prominent title next to your name. But those things are entirely temporary. The cars will eventually break down, the money will be spent, and the earthly titles will be completely forgotten. But there is a heavy, permanent reality waiting for you that makes the greatest earthly success look like a tiny drop of water next to a massive, raging ocean. You are actively laying up incredibly valuable treasures in heaven right now. Every single time you choose to forgive someone who deeply hurt you, you are storing up a permanent reward. Every time you generously help a struggling family with the new resources I have given you, you are making a massive deposit into an eternal bank account that can never be stolen, hacked, or diminished by inflation. There is a direct, unbreakable connection between your quiet, faithful earthly deeds and the heavy, glorious eternal weight of your ultimate reward. The kindness you show in the quiet corners of your office, the patience you display with your challenging children, the silent prayers you pray for the sick, these are the actual, valuable currencies of my kingdom. I affirm to you today that this massive earthly breakthrough is merely a faint shadow of my ultimate glory. It is a tiny, beautiful appetizer to prepare you for the massive banquet that is coming. Do not let your heart become so deeply attached to your new earthly comfort that you forget your true, eternal home. When you face small frustrations tomorrow, or when a sudden inconvenience tries to ruin your mood, remind yourself of the massive scale of eternity. The temporary annoyances of this physical life are absolutely nothing compared to the breathtaking, endless joy that is permanently waiting for you. I invite you to direct your heart's focus entirely back to my face. Seek me not just for the miracles I can put in your hands, but for the profound beauty of who I am. Let the deep gratitude for what I have done naturally transition into a pure, intense worship of my character. You are a highly favored citizen of a permanent, unshakable kingdom. Live every single day with the absolute, thrilling confidence that this earthly life is just the beautiful beginning of an endless, glorious adventure entirely wrapped in my perfect love. This is my final, powerful benediction over your life today. I am standing directly in front of you, placing both of my hands on your shoulders, and I am releasing an impenetrable, permanent blessing of deep peace and massive prosperity over your entire existence. You have successfully completed a brutally difficult journey. You walked through the dark, terrifying valley of the shadow of death. You endured the sharp, agonizing pain of betrayal, the heavy, suffocating weight of extreme debt, and the exhausting, silent tears of deep isolation. You survived the intense, burning fire of the trial, and now, I am officially placing the heavy, beautiful crown of absolute victory directly on your head. I call you right now to stand up incredibly tall in the bright, warm light of my unconditional love. Look back at the massive mountains you just climbed. You did not think you were going to survive them. There were nights you begged me just to let you give up. But you kept walking. You kept trusting. You kept holding on to my promises even when your natural eyes saw absolutely nothing but disaster. I honor your raw, stubborn faith today. The season of weeping is completely, permanently over. The heavy, dark clouds have entirely scattered, and the brilliant, healing sun of my total favor is aggressively shining down on your face. I need you to hear this truth and let it anchor your soul forever. I am with you always, until the absolute end of the age. When you walk into your workplace tomorrow morning, I am walking right beside you. When you sit down at your kitchen table to pay your bills, my massive provision is sitting right there with you. When you lie down to sleep at night, my fierce, protective angels are standing guard at your bedroom door. You will never, ever have to face a single second of your future entirely alone. I am your absolute certainty in a highly uncertain world. I am your solid rock, your fierce defender, and your endlessly loving Father. I officially seal this entire message today with the absolute, unquestionable authority of the Amen. What I have spoken over your life cannot be reversed, canceled, or delayed by any human being, any failing economy, or any demonic force in hell. The breakthrough is yours. The profound peace is yours. The complete financial restoration is yours. The deep, lasting joy is entirely yours. I have spoken it, I have decreed it, and it is now your permanent, daily reality. Now, I boldly send you forth. Step completely out of your comfort zone and aggressively occupy the beautiful, prosperous land I have just handed to you. Do not shrink back in fear. Do not apologize for the massive blessing on your life. Walk forward with the quiet, intense confidence of a highly favored child of the King. Take absolute dominion over your peace, your health, your family, and your massive future. The battle is officially won. The heavy chains are completely broken. Go forward, my precious, deeply beloved child, and walk fully, boldly, and joyfully in your ultimate, hard-earned victory. Amen. You are finally stepping into the magnificent, hard-earned victory that I have prepared for you, and the ultimate way to seal this breakthrough is by turning around and funding the rescue of another. Heaven saw your silent tears, and now heaven is actively watching to see how boldly you will sow into the triumphant expansion of my kingdom. I speak this living, breathing scripture over you. Those who sowed with bitter tears will absolutely reap with loud, unstoppable psalms of joy. I am extending a divine, urgent invitation for you to partner with me in broadcasting this liberating victory to the ends of the entire earth. Support this anointed channel right now by sending a super thanks, committing as a member, or donating through the PayPal link in the video description. When you boldly finance my gospel, I will permanently command generational wealth and untouchable prosperity to hunt you down and overtake your family. Do not leave this sacred moment without acting. Plant your ultimate victory seed right now. Heaven saw your silent struggles in the dark, and today I want the world to witness your undeniable victory in the light. Do not let this sacred moment slip away. Plant your flag of faith right here and permanently seal this massive breakthrough. Step boldly out of the shadows and declare your triumph in the comments by typing, "Heaven saw everything, and I am stepping into my ultimate victory today." Speak it, claim it, and believe it with every fiber of your soul. When you write this bold declaration, you are permanently locking the heavy door on your painful past and swinging wide the floodgates to your prosperous, powerful future. Amen.